Okay.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you on planet Earth. This is the skipper with his buddy Dale from Coin World UK. Welcome to our collectors community chat, and we're going to have some fun today. It's again we're still in July, and we'll invite people up to the chat to show your collections. Anyone does that, the skipper here will ensure that you get a coin and a sticker for joining us on the live feed. For those of you hiding in the chat, enjoy. I see Bud Files is in, Patty Ferguson. Oh, nice to see Patty back. And I think Christopher Ty was the first one in there early. That was awesome. So how are you managing there, Dale?
You put me on the spot before the stream, didn't you? Okay, I'm doing good. Yeah, hang on a minute. I just need to get these.
Okay, you carry on. You know what? I'm going to be talking about 1953 today. Why? Because the old skipper is now 18 years old with 52 years experience behind him. I hit the ripe old age of 70 this just a week ago, and I thought it would be fun to look at some. Instead of Canadian, let's look at some British coinage from 1953 that my buddy over here is going to look up. And I'm going to tell you historical facts about Great Britain in 1953, starting in January of 53. Very interesting, because I know a lot of the stuff that went on in Canada. I may throw a few things from the U.S. and stuff, but it's going to be mostly about what happened in Great Britain in 53. So, yeah. And with that, January 53 in Great Britain. Well, you do understand the British Empire was quite big, and they had a lot of things that was going on in the news. Wow. Let's take a look. Okay, this actually covers a little bit worldwide. But in January 53, demands for tougher action against the Mau Mau in Kenya. A local Kikuyu chief was murdered in the government hospital where he was recovering from an earlier ambush. 52 people were killed in a Belfast air crash. A BEA aircraft crashed at Nuts Corner Airport in Belfast, and 27 people were killed. Yet there were 8 survivors. That was in the first week of January. Second week, George Cross was presented to Sergeant Fairfax. He was the hero of a rooftop gun battle in which PC Miles was killed by Christopher Craig. He's the first Met police officer to be awarded the George Cross. And
a fun fact about that, there's actually a famous picture with the news of how close you can get to the action. Like nowadays, they corded things off. And I think it was actually one of the last remaining news stories that was independent, if I remember rightly, that where an actual shooting took place in the mainstream news. Neil collects, Patty and Christopher Time,
wow. Third week of January. In 1953, the British arrested Nazis. Remember, we had divided Germany up into different occupation zones. Yeah. And 7 ringleaders of a group of former leading Nazis infiltrating the German political parties were arrested by the British authorities in Germany. So we're talking 8 years after the end of World War II. Also, controls on cereals were removed. Subsidies and restrictions on type of flour were left, leaving a choice of whiter bread. They had, and of course Dale can confirm this too, I'm sure. After World War II, even during World War II, there were severe flour restrictions, and you couldn't get white bread. It was just impossible to get that. It was mostly very whole grain. I forget what they called the bread loaf. It was a special loaf. National.
I think
I
it's
think they
just like
called
a
it the
bloomer.
national loaf, wasn't it?
Yeah, rationing didn't end until 1956, I believe. So I think it was like bloomers and if you can get hold of. Actually, I was talking to a lady today about that, where rationing was very, very restrictive still. For over 10 years that lasted.
Well, apparently, in 53, you were given a choice of whiter bread, not subject to price control. And the present national loaf, okay, it is a national loaf, remained unchanged. So you could still get the high grain, high fiber national loaf, as well as the white stuff. Actually, the high fiber loaf was better for you.
If you didn't mind going to the toilet in an outhouse at 3 o'clock in the morning.
That's right. That's right. Kept you full and clean.
You didn't have the indoor plumbings back then, unless you was pretty rich. And it was a shared bath back then as well, if I remember rightly.
Oh, joy. The fun. Nothing like the scum on the top of a bathtub when you're the third kid using the water.
Yeah, I was the fifth kid, don't tell me.
Yeah. In week 4 of January of 53, Derek Bentley was hanged for murder. He was a teenager. He was executed at Wandsworth Prison in London for his part in the murder of PC Sidney Miles.
I think he was the last male to be executed by hanging.
Wow, that's very interesting. During the month of January 53 too. Did you know that the folks, just to prepare for the Queen's coronation, they had to spiff up all the weather vanes?
Oh yeah.
Across the United Kingdom.
Yeah,
they're cleaned and oiled and so nice and pretty.
You're talking, if you ever go to London, you got weather vanes for different companies, so and different people as well. So and different reasons why there is weather vanes. Especially when you go to London, have a look up. It's more important looking up than it is looking around. You'll be very surprised what you see looking up.
Neil seems to think that you might have had a potty under your bed.
No, I didn't have a potty in the bed, but I know I was born in 72, so I was okay. But when I went to my granddad's house, or my grandparents' house, their toilet was on the outside in the middle of a Bax's. So really narrow Bax's. You had to go outside, take a right, and you just hope that the person didn't come home from the pub drunk. So that's why I remember them.
One of the things that's not actually in Great Britain, President General Eisenhower was sworn in as the 34th President of the United States. And, prior to him, for the presidential elections, they all had to wear silk hats.
Right.
And Ike decided that he didn't want to wear a silk hat, and he decided to wear a Homburg. Well, the problem with that is all the hat shops across D.C. had brought in all these silk hats expecting everybody to be wearing them. And now they had this huge surplus of silk hats and couldn't get enough Homburgs in for his swearing in ceremony. I thought that was rather funny.
About the last. Talk about expected the unexpected.
Oh, my goodness, I guess.
They did have potties under the bed and bed warmers.
Yeah. BC Treasure says, hello, alert packing for a 2-week tugboat tow of logs and fuels. Oh, my goodness. I just had the log driver's waltz just pop into my head.
Do you remember, to go off topic, with the treasure, with treasure trails, there used to be a program on back in the 70s that I used to love watching, and it was about waterlogging. Remember the logs in the water?
In BC?
No. I don't know where it was. It was a program, and it was like
70s, in the 70s with Bruno Gerussi. I think you're talking about. It had Bruno Gerussi in it. Oh, what was it called? Help me, BC. It was.
I loved it. I
I
loved
used
it.
to watch it. And there's a guy by the name of Relic that was kind of a low life that worked. Oh, what was it called? I can remember the character's name, but not the name of the show.
I remember the boat going through all the logs. There's like a boat, and it had all the water logs going across. And he's sort of like a detective program, if I remember rightly. But he was
detective? No.
Yeah.
It was Beachcombers. That's the one I'm thinking of, Beachcombers. If it isn't that one, the only other one I can think of, and that was probably earlier than 70s, 60s. There was a show called The Forest Rangers, and that was a huge thing that was on back then. Yeah, of course, BC likes Relic. Yeah, he was. Well, comic relief. You need that, right? The Mercy and Metal Detecting. Hello there. Welcome.
Hey, the American Metal Detecting. And Lavio, isn't it?
Oh, don't be calling him American. It's Mercian. He's British.
Okay. Oh, so he's West Mercia. Okay, so he's
there you go. Yeah,
okay,
right there.
But the old Roman. That's where Birmingham Way and all that.
Absolutely. I think I was watching Mercian's feed there just the other day.
He's British as well.
BC Treasures. He says, I'm British too. Well, yeah, my wife's British, but I won't hold that against her. She's not around to smack me in the back of the head. All right. Well, you want to show a coin? You got a coin from 53?
Well, I'm going to go through some things that you may find interesting, actually, before I show some coins.
Okay. So, I'm ready for February after you do your bit.
Okay. How much? Because before we went to liters, you can put me back on because I'm just going to be talking. So.
Okay. Fine.
Right. Okay. A gallon. Before we went to liters, I think we went to liters. I think it was about 82, 83, if I remember rightly. So we used to do gallons. How much in 1953? And don't forget, this is like 9 years. Is it 7 years before? I can't remember my maths now. Is it 9? Actually, 13 years, 20 years. How old are you now? 70. So 19 years before I was born. So, how much do you think a gallon of petrol was in 1953?
A gallon of petrol in the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
Off the top, having lived through most of that.
And remember, I'm using old money.
Oh, wait a minute now. You know I'm lousy with the old stuff. It's you know what? I'm going with blistering barnacles, probably about 76 pence.
No. In fact, it was 4 shillings, 6 pence, 6.5 pence. So
I never would have gotten that.
So this is a shilling. There is 2 types of shillings. Okay. Now we call these bobs. These lasted until 1992, I think.
Right.
We used to use these as 5 pences. Now there is 2 types. I'll just turn them around. You got the English and the Scottish version. I've got every single flavour of these. So we would call these a bob. I only use these as 5 pences. Let's just turn it up a little bit. You got you have the single line, which is the Scottish version, and then you have the. In fact, you went to Salisbury, didn't you?
I did, yes.
Right. Okay. The 3 lions from Henry I is what the 3 lions represents. I believe it's Henry I, and that's what the 3 lions. It's actually on the stained glass window in Salisbury.
So I definitely saw that.
That's it's the oldest 3 lion stained glass window in England. Yeah, I think it's Henry I. and Henry I, or I'm pretty sure it's Henry I. And that's what we have on the England shirt, is the three lines on the shirts, blah blah blah. So anyway, so that would be 4 of these. Okay, now there was not a 1953 1 penny ever produced. So they, because obviously which was when King George VI died in 1952, he already had his pennies out, so they didn't produce any more pennies in 1953. So so we all know what the old British penny looks like. So it'd be 4 of these. We all know what the pennies are, so there'd be 6 of them, and then you get a halfpenny. I believe it's a halfpenny. Hang on a minute. 3 pence, 6. No, there was no halfpennies either made. So there was no halfpennies made. We all know it's got the golden hind on the back. So that's quite interesting. I didn't realise that. And that is today's equivalent. Okay, so it's gone up in inflation adjustment to £4.90 a gallon. So quite expensive.
Yeah.
How much do you think a bottled pint of beer is? An average pint of, well, an average beer bottle, a beer bottle. How much do you think one of those were back in 1953? Now, you were too young to drink then.
Yeah,
So
I can tell you right now. No, it's not 53, but in 1971, a bottle of beer was a dime.
Okay, 10 cents.
10 cents in Canada. In fact, I could buy if you get the larger, in Ontario they used to get the 2-4s, 24 bottles of beer. I remember buying a 2-4, 24 bottles of beer for $5.40.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Right? So if you go back to 53, you probably could half that, because
if not, you're talking probably a quarter of that.
It's ridiculous how much it's gone up.
A pint of beer was 1 shilling and 10 pennies. So 1 shilling and 10 old pennies. And don't forget another fact you have to include here. We got 100 pennies to the pound, the same as the dollar, Canadian dollar, American.
Oh my gosh!
Right, which is 100 pennies to a pound. But back then there was 240 pennies to the pound. So yeah, our spending power is much higher. So
yeah. I recently did a comparison in Canada here, that in 71, 100, if you were to purchase $100 worth of groceries, you get a fair amount of groceries, because that same $100 to buy the same amount of groceries today is nearly $700 to buy what used to be $100 worth of groceries. Inflation is terrible.
Right, now you used to be a smoker.
Okay. Can I ever tell you about the creep? Yeah.
Okay, right. Okay, a normal. Now I don't know about the packs. I've never smoked, so I don't know. So I know that there used to be 20 cigarettes in a pack. Now, us kids, when I was age 5, my parents smoked, and we can actually go and buy singles for my parents.
Yeah.
Obviously not allowed to do that. There's absolutely no way in life of this day and age we're allowed to do that. But anyway,
you guys are talking about economics now. I literally just had an argument with my grandma about economics.
Oh no. Well.
I'll explain. You can explain that. I'll explain my experience.
Okay. Well, we're talking about Skipper's birth year, so because he's 70.
Yeah, we're a little off tangent, but really, inflation is a fascinating part of it.
It is a very, very fascinating, very, very fascinating. I'll get into that with you in a minute. 20 cigarettes was 3 shillings and 7 pence. So you can get 20 cigarettes for 3 shillings. Hey, Mayors and Mandy and Blistering and everybody else. I can just about see chat. So if I keep looking one way, I'm looking around.
They missed us.
Okay. A normal. I mean, you was talking about bread a moment ago, right? With the grain content and stuff like that. How much do you think a loaf of bread, white, unwrapped, normal? I think it's like an uncut bread, basically.
Right.
How much do you think that is in 1953?
Not very much.
Not
very
very
little.
much.
Insignificant compared to today. Now, you were talking. I'm gonna throw a ballpark because I'm really lousy at this with conversion. 3 shillings.
3 shillings. Now we just spent 3 shillings for 3 shillings 7 pence for 20 cigarettes. You're talking 7.5 pence. 7.5p. So if you're talking like 240 pennies in a pound, and your average wage was say £5 a week, okay, you went and bought you could have had a great time on 50 pence, which is like a shilling, or 50 shillings, or a 10 bob note, 10 shillings, sorry. You could have had a really good time and still had change. If you was a single person, I'm saying, if you have a family, it's a bit different, of course, obviously. Yeah. But 7 little pennies will cost you literally sod all. Now it's like £2 a loaf. You're not. It's like like you have to sell your cards to get a loaf of bread.
For our North American friends, I can remember quite clearly my mother going through the roof when bread went up to 25 cents a loaf. She was absolutely livid because we were used to paying 10 or 15 cents a loaf. So and now I go to the local store here, and I'm paying upwards of $3, $4, $5 for a loaf of bread, depending on what you want. It's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. I was just explaining this stuff to my grandmother earlier, and it obviously didn't go well. It came to an argument, but it was like I was trying to help her recently about this stuff. Because she's one of those, like I said, I have nothing against boomers. I have nothing against Gen Xers. You know, I have nothing against them. But what I don't like about some of them is that they're so delusional and they're still stuck in time. Like, for example, like my grandma literally believes, she literally believes that it's the 1980s. I could just go and buy a house like for $50,000. She's like, oh, Troy, why don't you move out now? It's like, I can't afford it. I can't afford to have this house a 3-bedroom house of $100,000. Like, I can't afford it.
I agree with you.
Absolutely I had a whole argument about this for 50 minutes because I'm trying to help her to move out to New Jersey, because New Jersey's pretty expensive right now because I don't live too far from like Manhattan, you know what I mean? So it's a little expensive, and I tell her, it's like, Grandma, I think you should move out of Bingham. Like I think you should move out, at least be with your sons down South Jersey where it's a little cheaper, because your decisions, what's going on with me, it's affecting me. Okay, the fact that I have to pay rent to you means that you can't afford rent. You know what I mean? And she doesn't get that. And like I had like a 15-minute discussion about it.
See, my friend, right? I've known him for like 39 years, 40 years. Mm-hmm. 40 years I've known him, and he has no internet. Okay, he just about gets angry because with his phone he accidentally puts it on hold. And he can't talk, so he gets angry because he's still stuck in the Stone Age. Okay, and trying to explain to my friend about with this inflation and stuff like that, because he just goes with the flow. He just he goes with the flow, and he wouldn't change for anybody. He's like what I call in the groove of a record. He just goes round and round in circles. Again, it turns not into a horrible argument or anything. Like, we don't have arguments. We converse. So I accept him. I've known him for years. So where I'm more or less more forward thinking, and And you go, oh, that's stupid. You know, why have we got to ring up for a taxi? We can't just use a payphone and the yellow pages still. You know, you know what I mean? He's still stuck on those things.
No.
Right.
Just to jump in there, it's only.
If I'm offending you, Skipper, it's like I'm like I said, I'm not. You know.
No. But I totally get
bear with me, guys. I did look this up just a couple weeks ago. I looked up the house I bought in 1973 for $200 down, and the house was on a double lot. It was a bungalow. Cost me $18,000
at the time when you bought it, right?
At the time, I looked it up. They're selling it today $500,000.
Yeah.
Like how does anybody afford that?
How can you afford that?
No one can afford that today.
No one can afford that unless if you're like, yeah.
I will give you a little insight here, right? How ridiculous these prices are right now. We just spoke about cigarettes, okay?
Right.
Cigarettes was 3 shillings and 7 pence, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, okay, you got a family, right? You got Skipper. He's in his nappies still. He's 50, 1953. Okay, he's about 4 minutes old. Okay, now, cigarettes or eggs? Which do you think is the most expensive? A dozen eggs. Okay, how much do you think that is between cigarettes and eggs?
I would say the eggs are more expensive.
The eggs would be a little bit more expensive. Yeah.
Yes, it's because of the rationing. Because
that's right.
So that was 4 shillings and 3 pence, where cigarettes was 3 shillings and 7 pence. So you're paying 6 pence more or 6.5 pence more for eggs.
Yeah. Everybody was smoking their brains out. So
that is so true. I mean, that was obviously patriarchy from the army, from doctors doing the advertisements. You know, a Strand, whatever it was called back then. But eating apples was 11.5 pence. Eating apples, we just go and nick them off the tree. But yeah, it's crazy.
You know, in 53, they were still using drip because they got cooked on it during the war years. Still using drippings. My
dad used dripping and all that sort of stuff, and tripe.
Oh, tripe! I remember it.
With sandwiches.
Yeah. Oh, he made sandwiches out of it.
Yeah, he ate that like soup, right? Because the thing is, because knives and forks, because steel and all that was scarce. Okay, so my dad was born in 1928. If you're wondering, so my dad was, his older brothers went off to war. He was one of the younger ones, and how old would he have been? He'd have been about 9, 11, 10 maybe. And the war was more or less.
Yeah, your father was actually the same age as mine. He was born in 28 too.
So, March the 4th, 1928. My dad was born, and he died in 1993. And but yeah, he was eating because steel was very scarce for use, so it's for the war effort. So if you had to share a knife and fork, you had to share a knife. So what my dad used to do would use bread for his knife and fork. So he used to eat bread with everything, and that's the way you get brought up and how you get used to it, I guess. I'm going to take the ride home. I'll be back soon. But yeah, I'll tell you what. The history of this makes you think how times where people had to. If you ran out of something, right? And I'm pretty sure your parents did as well, there, Skipper, right? Because we're talking about you. When something went short, you can go to a neighbour and trade something. For some sugar,
my
cheese, whatever. Washing powder. Well, I mind you used to use some scrub board, I guess, back then in the mangle. But
right. You borrowed it from someone, or
yeah, you borrowed it and then you helped somebody else back. In the respect. But I mean, coal. Everybody used coal back then. We used to have a coal bunker, if I remember. We did have a coal bunker. Now, 1 cubic weight. I think that's 1 cubic weight is 1 sack, if I remember rightly. So that was 5 shillings and 5.5 pence, which is today the inflation of £5.80 a bag. So that's gone up. A Bush TV in 1953. Now, I remember my dad and my mum telling me that my grandparents were the first people to have a TV in the street, and everybody queued up. And obviously I wasn't born, so I don't know whether, I'm pretty sure it was true, because my granddad was a farmer. He's quite well off. And he sold his farm and he bought a TV. But I don't know how many people. I wasn't there, so I can't really put that. But that was 60 guineas. Okay, I don't have a guinea, so a guinea I believe was £1 and 12p, if I remember. If anybody can correct me, please feel free to do so. That's the equivalent to £1,400 today. So you have to be pretty. You have to be in a banker's job to get a TV back then.
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh, yeah, no kidding.
You have to be really, really well.
Here's a little bit of trivia that will floor you. I gotta add this to it.
Yeah, sure.
From the turn of the century right through to the 1950s, one of the habits, especially in North America and Great Britain, families were using a little spot of borax. You've heard of 20 multine borax, I'm sure.
Yeah.
They used to put a little bit of borax in their milk. And the reason being is they didn't have proper refrigeration. The borax countered the sourness in the milk. But what it did not do was it didn't kill the bacteria that caused the sourness. What it turns out that children were contracting tuberculosis through the milk they were drinking.
Yeah.
So hence why you had that long phase where TB was so prevalent. It was because they were putting borax in the milk to counter the sourness to make it last longer.
Damn.
And a lot of people don't know that.
I did heard about the boraxing a little bit.
Borax will kill a child in larger amounts. It's bad stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Dimebag, can you send me your address there, please, brother? If you can still hear me. I don't know if he's at work or anything. Madwood Barbecue.
210 shillings to a guinea pig.
Yeah, 21 shillings to a guinea pig. Yeah, so 21 shillings. So, oh my gosh, I can't even work that out now.
Look, I can see the smoke rising from your ears.
I can't think. Hang on a minute. Oh gosh.
Sorry, babe. I'll stop.
That's all right. Neither can funeral directors.
Okay. In February of 1953, there was an intense depression weather-wise. Gale force winds hit the northern part of the UK, and it was absolutely horrible. Yorkshire and Kent really got nailed bad. And hundreds of people living on the coast of Britain died in one of the worst storms ever recorded.
Oh, what was going on, Skipper? I'm sorry if I missed that. What was going on?
Oh yeah, sorry. A guinea is 21 shillings. There's £1, 1 shilling. That's what it is. I worked it out now.
Aha. See, I could tell that brain was moving. 130 people died in a ferry disaster in the week of February. The Stranraer to Larne, Northern Ireland car ferry.
When was this?
In the Irish Sea.
Stranraer, Scotland, isn't it?
No, Ireland. Northern Ireland, Kent. Yeah, okay. 130 passengers lost their lives. That's just the first week.
been more disaster in 1953 than
And
there was in
what
the
about
first week
those-
of the war.
what about those miners? The miners, they had a real dispute over pit pay.
Yeah. The riots, yeah.
Yeah, it was settled with a 1 shilling 5p shift and a 6 shilling 30p a week increase for 320,000 lower paid day wage. That's not very much money in today's wages.
No, not 30p is nothing. I mean, I think they'll just do a mass strikeout today if they said you're going to get 30p on your pound. Not a chance. Like 30 quid on your pound.
Yeah.
Oh,
We were talking about the controls coming off. The control on sausages and eggs came off in 53 in February. Yeah. So that was kind of cool. And did you know there were 13,000 wartime deserters that were pardoned by the Queen?
That's a whole garrison.
Yeah. It was to mark the coronation of Queen Elizabeth, and that was done with our old friend Winston Churchill. He was the one that did that.
Well, there's not really much you can do with 13,000 people, really, is there?
Yeah, true. So did you find a 53 coin to show us some more?
Yeah, but I got obviously there was no 1 penny made. There was no half penny made.
I got some good silver too. I want to show, by the way.
Okay, we'll take a look at that here in just a sec.
Yep.
So the first one, I'm going to go in order. So we have a 1953 farthing. Okay. So this is the first portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, and in fact, I got on here because this is one of the variants. The eye is between the plus. There's a few variants on this one, but this is one of the harder ones to get. But it all adds up anyway. So it's got the wren on there. You won't be able to see it very well. I'm not going to take it out because I don't have any more flips. So we'll have the Eurasian wren and 6,131,037. Still minted in London at Tower Hill by then until and obviously a farthing is basically a fourth of a penny. And then we have the brass, which looks like our £1 coins. I don't have any £1 coins near me, so 1953 nickel brass, and there's 30 million of these made. And you have the portcullis on the back, which is the badge of Westminster. It's basically a gate. If you ever go past Westminster or near Big Ben or Elizabeth Tower or St. Stephen's Tower, as it'd be back then, but it's called Elizabeth Tower. That's the badge of Westminster on there. So it's just basically a gate with chains. Then we go on to the sixpence or tanner or the lucky coin. Obviously, these are pretty cool. Coming to our little shiny ones now. So you have all the flowers on there from Scotland. You have the shamrock, the leek, the rose, and the daffodil for all the Northern Ireland. The leek is going to be for Wales, shamrock for Scotland, the daffodil for England. What did I say for Ireland? Oh my God. No, the thistles for Scotland, shamrocks for Scotland, sorry. I don't know anything about flowers. Thank you, Dime Bag. Appreciate that, brother. And then we have the one which was used, as I said earlier. This is the English version. There's two versions. So if you ever collect these, outside of the United Kingdom, there is two types. They go from silver up until I think it's I can't remember now. I can't remember off the top of my head. But you have to get the silver and the brass. I think it's King George VI ended them, or they're in between. So they go from what was it, 925 silver to 50% silver. Not sure the actual date. So I think it's 1946 was the last silver coin. But it is two types anyway. England and Scotland. So you have the single Guardian Lion there, and then you have the, as I said earlier, you have the triple. I think it's King Henry I badge. So that's the shillings. They lasted until 92, I believe. 92. Really? Because even though they didn't make them, we used them as 5 pences because they were the same size, same weight, whatever. And then the last one is the half crown. And this is no, I ain't going to talk about the variant. This is a different variant. It's ones I do have. And you have the Royal Shield there.
Those are nice coins, Dale, by the way.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, you can't see it, but I got drool down my beard. Kind of.
So you have the Latin, you have the ER, which is Elizabeth Royal, and then you have the St. Edward's crown at the top, and then you have the Royal Shield there representing England, Scotland, and Northern Ireland. The only thing I don't like about those coins is they put half crown, the coin value, and then the date looks like it's odd to one side. I think they could have put it on the front of the coin itself. I think the date would have been better here rather than on the reverse. It sort of makes the coin look screw with. But yeah, that's all the coins Elizabeth produced, because obviously there won't be any King George VI because he died in 1952. So
right.
So if you're looking for a penny or a half penny, you won't get one.
Fine. Won't look then.
There is some, but they're in the Numismatics museum. So
yeah.
Or the Queen's personal. Another Queen's personal.
All right. All right, now it's time to turn the camera on now.
Woohoo!
Even though I'm not in the greatest mood today, but so I got three silver coins. So, and I'm thinking about buying these for a friend of mine. I just have them, but some of them are pretty expensive coins, but they look pretty good though. So I got a 2.5 gulden from like that's 1930. I think it's 92% silver. I think.
Gulden, is it?
Yeah, it's a half gulden.
Is that Austrian?
No, it's Dutch.
Oh, right, okay.
That's pretty good size coin.
Yeah, it's about the same size as a Morgan, isn't it?
Let me compare it to a Morgan. I have a Morgan. Wait 1 second.
Hey Skipper, did you see my video? I had some purchases today.
I can find it.
Purchases today?
Yeah, I had a coin purchase today come through.
No, I have not seen it yet. I will take a look.
Well, I had a 1913 Canadian 5 cents, and I said in there because it's quite warm. I said 5 pence Canada.
All over the place here.
Marlon just said something about him not having a sterling silver coin yet. And you got one in the UK.
Well, I can certainly send that. I can certainly help him out there if he wants.
I have no idea where it's Morgan at.
1953. Yeah, I don't know whether it's a 1952 because that's all my Queen Elizabeth ones, and it goes to King George VI.
So while History Man's looking, I'll tell you that March of 53 was an interesting month. In March of 53, both Queen Mary and Joseph Stalin died.
Yep.
Marshal Tito made a historic visit to London from Yugoslavia. He was the first communist head of state to visit any country.
He stayed, didn't he?
And Malenkov was named as Soviet premier. Like Stalin, he is a Soviet imperialist. The Cold War will continue. Did I do that?
All right, found one. Found the Morgan. Let's compare it to a Morgan. I think it's not the case, even though this Morgan's a little dirty.
Okay, just use it as a comparison.
Yeah.
Still a beautiful coin.
Yeah, it's the same size. Look at that.
There you go.
Look at that.
Same size as one. Look at that.
Awesome.
Yeah, if you look at tweet too. Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Best coins to compare any circulated coin, silver, dollar, or anything like that, or is the Maria Teresa Italia, because that basically is the what do you call it? The blueprint to all silver coins.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's where the Morgan came from the Maria Teresa Italia.
Right.
The size and diameter I'm on about.
And this was my first one too. I've never had one before. A friend of mine, I bought it from a friend of mine.
Was that in
Morgan, here's the Morgan if you want to see it.
What year is that?
1878.
All right, okay.
First year. Yeah.
Is that New Orleans, I guess? Or?
It has no mint mark now.
Oh, so it's a Philadelphia.
Philadelphia, yep.
Lovely.
So I have.
And that one of the key dates, 1878 Philadelphia.
Is that a key date? I don't remember. I don't think it is.
William, they look bigger. History man.
People in the chat to help us out.
Pops magnet fishing. John Clayton, nice to see you.
Then I got a 1,000 yen from Tokyo. I think this is my favorite coin so far. It talks about the Tokyo Olympics of 1964. This is also 92% silver too as well. I'm thinking about buying this from a friend of mine as well.
Oh, that's a nice coin, yeah.
Yeah.
They are absolutely. I got
You have one?
No, I tell you what I do have is a Portuguese. I'll show you actually. I think I got it right here. Hang on a sec.
Yeah, sure.
Here's my. Hang on a minute. I put these. I put my coins away because I do videos, so I got the way I do my videos actually. Oh no, where is it? This is not it. So that's the Portuguese. When they entered the EU, Portugal. Oh no! Do you know what? I put it away.
Way to go!
And here's my silver Austrian coins. I think these are 50 shillings.
Might invest myself into a scope.
You did?
No, I'm going to
Oh,
because
good. Yeah, they're very handy.
because I really need one when I want to, show coins.
See, pre-decimal 1970. Look.
Yeah,
Hmm? Oh, yeah.
he doesn't get around.
Yeah.
It's my
You look
Bible.
a little bit like Dilbert when you do that.
I got a. Yeah, my coins are like literally all over the place. I got a pretty much
Good,
organized.
lay back.
That's why I couldn't find the Morgan because I had so many coins in that box.
Here you
Yeah,
go,
you're
Skip.
gonna
This is
have
how
to
you
take
got.
a trip down to the LCS and pick yourself up some albums.
Yeah, that's probably what I need to start doing. And probably refill the box because I'm getting a whole nother. I'm thinking about buying his collection. I have his foreign coin collection. I have it here, which is on this bag.
Get back in there.
I mean, there's more, but this is it. But there's more. There's more bags. You just put in most of them in other bags. Is that all your? That Canadian album is huge. I bet.
Like,
The skipper. Throughout looking through these two, I found some Canadian silver, some good Canadian silver in there too.
Oh, good.
I've got to find some 1953 Canadian.
Yes,
Let's
you
see what
do.
we got here. Yeah, I got Ecuador. Let's see. I got Ecuador. Got some Chinese. This is from the UK. This is a shilling. But I think it was, but it's not silver though.
What year is it?
1948.
No, it's just after 1946
Yeah.
is the last one.
1946 was the last one. Yeah, I know. I'm familiar. But he had some silver shillings though in here.
Before we are, check the dates on them because some of them can be quite.
Like this half crown of silver from 1936.
Yeah, that's going to be 50% silver, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 50% silver.
Yeah.
That's going to be a good one. I'll have a check. The best site to go to is a website called All Coin Values.
Why that website sounds so familiar? But yeah.
All Coin Values for British coins. It's
For
only
British
a guide.
coins? All coin. Let me bookmark that.
It's mainly British, so it's only a guide. Doesn't really give you a lot of information, but it gives you what they obviously everything is down to your own opinion, as you know.
Like your opinion about it. All right.
Yeah. So it gives you a rough guide what to look for, the errors and stuff, not the errors, the variants, and it gives you some of the information in a list, like a column list of who made it, when it was made, which monarch, whatever, and then it gives you the silver content as well. It's really, really interesting. So what I would do right in there, what year is it? 1936.
1936. Yeah, that half crown in there.
Just write in the 1936 half crown or coin values. Simple.
This is what I got in my pocket change today.
Whoa!
Oh wow!
Dime bag selling some stuff if I remember right. Because I'm gonna need to see it video.
Let me just show you this last coin here. This is this one. You might like. It has a very interesting history. I'm thinking about probably buying it, but it's a pretty expensive coin, and I can see why it is. But this is another 1 yen from Japan, and it's from 1897. And I think it's bigger than it's a little bigger than the Morgan too. Take a look at that.
Ooh.
No, that is pretty huge.
Now, these were called. So this is a 1 yen for Japan, but there's something different about it. So these are the these were the countermarks one. And
Okay.
what these were is that when Japan adopted the gold standard in 1896, the price of silver dropped in Japan. So if you had these 1 yen coins, for example, right here that has the stamped on the Osaka Mint here, which is stamped in the coin, you can go to a lot of the colonies of Japan, like Taiwan, later it would be Korea, all the stuff that they tried to, get colonies over. You can actually exchange this 1 yen in those colonies for gold. Basically, you can exchange it for gold, basically.
So that was the standard for the gold then, for that particular coin.
Mm-hmm. And that has some really pretty interesting history of it too. And
I'd like
trading with these coins went on quite a while.
When I come on the skipper tonight, right? Okay. Obviously,
all right. I'm going to turn off the camera until I show something else.
1953. Okay. I didn't expect I'd be doing homework.
Well, you know what? It's good. It keeps you on it. And you did say you were missing history in the feeds.
I do miss history.
I do.
I mean, that's what I just guys gave a small history lesson about this 1 yen coin here.
Yeah, exactly.
We all learn. That's the thing. We all learn. On off each other. And, do you know what? I got a 1935. I got 1936.
What? After?
So talk about 1936. I've got a 1936 Canadian.
Oh, okay. I think I have a 36 Canadians there somewhere.
Oh man, 1953. 1953. I don't think I've got a 19. I think I got one, Skipper, but I haven't done anything to it yet because a lot of these flips got to come out because I don't like staples, you see. So
well, let's take a quick look at April while you're digging away there.
Okie dokie.
April 53. Queen Mary was finally buried at Windsor. She had about 4,000 in attendance.
You were born sorry to interrupt, but you were born in April 53?
No, I was born in July 53, so I haven't gotten up to my birth date yet.
Oh, you're just looking at that year, like every.
I'm looking at what went on from January to December. Just little
Canadian family life.
Okay, like I can see, like for example, so I'm gonna list them here because I'm looking at right now, and it's just like for like every day in April actually, because it really goes in Wikipedia when you search for years, it really goes in detail. So on April 1st of 53, the 252nd Communication Group is created as a unit of the Washington Air National Guard at Camp Murray in the United States, as today's unit known as the 252nd Cyberspace Operation Group, after a number of redesignations. And then April 3rd of 1953 is that the first issue of the American TV magazine TV Guide was published.
That's interesting.
Yeah. All right, and April 4th, the King Carol II of Romania died when he was in exile in Portugal. And then his family, I mean, they didn't bury him until 2019. Reburied him until 2019 because he was buried in Portugal. Yeah, because Romania was part of the Warsaw Pact, so that's why they got rid of the
monarchy.
Huh?
Left him in state. They didn't bury him until 2019. I was going to leave him in state for so many years.
Yeah, they left him in Portugal even after when the Warsaw Pact collapsed. I mean, I can understand why they didn't bury him right away because literally Romania was literally part of the Warsaw Pact and But it's like not even after they didn't thought of it. It was like, whoa, King Charles here. It's like, we got to put him back to Romania.
Where do we stick him?
Yeah. Let's see what's going on here.
Operation Little Switch took place in 53. That's where
when was that?
North Korea exchanged prisoners, and they allowed 100 sick and injured soldiers, UN soldiers, to come back home. And those lucky 100 North Koreans got to live out their lovely country.
Oh, in April 20th, 53. I didn't know this, actually. Frank Sinatra began recording for Capitol in 53. I didn't know that, actually. Because before Frank Sinatra, he recorded for Columbia. I didn't know 53. That was the year that when he started recording.
Yeah, that's because his voice was starting to change.
I guess so, and Columbia was like, because he was in Columbia before 1953. I'm not sure if you know that, but
for quite a while.
Oh yeah, you know that? Yeah.
Believe me, I
did not know that was the year when he switched to Capitol. Although it was much later than that.
Good old blue eyes.
Yeah.
Sir Winston Churchill in April of 53 was conferred a knighthood. He was 78 years old, and he was invested in the insignia of the Order of the Garter.
Yeah. Do you know he was the only non-royal to have a state funeral?
Actually,
who was the only royal to have a state funeral?
Winston Churchill.
Winston Churchill. Oh, well, okay. I thought you said a monarch.
At a bad time.
Yeah, he wasn't a monarch. He was obviously the greatest prime minister that everyone loved.
Everyone loved, yeah, and that's why they had the.
You notice that about world leaders? You have peacetime and you have the wartime leaders, and the wartime leaders don't function very well during peacetime, and vice versa. I mean, we all remember Neville Chamberlain, how well he did. You know.
Yeah.
Well, guaranteed peace in our time.
There's not going to be a war. It was useless piece of paper.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go to my Discord and actually put on the On This Day bot, because we actually have a bot that tells you about what's today in history. It's pretty amazing.
Oh boy, talk about things being done easy for you these days.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool bot. I just like to inform people if they want to know what happened today in history. So kind of reminds me. Last time I did it was back on the 14th, so I should do it every day. But I wish a bot can just like do it like every single day, but I just can't do it.
No, Margaret Thatcher did not have a state funeral. She had. Well, if you look online, what happened to her funeral? People were throwing beer cans at a coffin and all sorts of stuff.
Oh yeah.
She ruined my birthday.
She was one of the Queen's favorite prime ministers.
She was great in the younger times because what her problem was, she privatized everything, and she introduced this stupid poll tax, and we're still paying for it today. The council tax. When the people say they don't want it, they should listen to the people and say, right, okay. Not just be stubborn and go for it. If the people say no, it's no, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for 1953 coins for you, Skipper.
Oh, well, let's see it.
No, I'm trying to find a 19.
Oh, you're trying to find.
I've got 1954. I've got 1950, 1952, and 1954. But I cannot find the 1953.
Oh, I mentioned that prisoner exchange for April. In May, of those soldiers, 22 of them were British. And so it took them till the first week in May of 53 to get back home.
You know what happened today in history now? I just put it in.
Oh,
So for today, let me go back to Discord again. All right. So today in history, so for July 17th is in 1794. Is the 16? Man, that's a very interesting French name because it's the French Revolution. Something about the French Revolution. This guy, I cannot pronounce it because of the French, is executed for 10 days prior to the end of the French Revolution's reign of terror. And then in 1932, the Altona Bloody Sunday, a riot between the Nazi Party parliamentary forces, the SS and the SA, and the German Communist Party ensues. And in 2001,
go back a bit. Go back a bit. What? Go back to France. And what year was it he was executed?
1794.
1794.
Yes.
That was after the revolution.
Robespierre?
Doesn't say Robespierre.
Who was executed? Spell it for us.
All right. Well, it's actually a bunch of dudes. The 16 Carla Lighty Mars of Compagnon. I don't know how to. I'll put it in the. I'll put it in the
chat. Yeah, that works.
The private chat.
I'm curious because I know they did come down hard on the revolutionaries, though, especially the ones that were guillotining every Tom, Dick, and Harry.
Everybody that was.
Oh, I know what I might have. 1953, actually. Hang on a minute. Oh, please be a 1953. Hang on a second.
May of 53, Edmund Hillary climbed Mount Everest.
Should have pushed.
Who climbed Mount Everest?
Hillary. Thatcher's the
the Carmelite Martyrs of Campania. I actually remember that. Very cool.
Right.
I haven't. Do we have a record from April of 1953 that was recorded in April 1953? I don't think I do. I don't feel like I do, but I don't.
Neil said Zoe was born in 53. You like older women there?
This is 1954.
I have a $2 Canadian bill like that.
Is that the devil's head?
Yeah, is that the devil's head on there?
Yes.
I'm still gonna learn about the. I haven't gotten a lot of Canadian bills recently.
Well, my Bible's filling up with U.S. bills. I'll tell you right now.
Oh yeah, I know. I bet.
That's not the one I normally read. That's my one I keep my money in.
Right.
Let's see. Second week of April 53, 43 people died when a BOAC airliner flying from Singapore to London was knocked down by a tempest minutes after taking off from Calcutta.
Let's see. If I find something that was recorded, go look at my record collection. If I find something that's recorded in April of 1953,
that would be interesting.
Yeah,
because there was a huge transition happening in the early 50s.
Oh yes, the music. Yeah,
they were starting to drag into the music genre. The blues and updating it, turning it into rock and roll.
Oh yeah,
I liked rock and roll. That was awesome.
I would even like to have even early. I think I've listened to the first record. It's by Imperial. It was the first record of Fast Amino. It was recorded in 47, 48, but I forgot what the song was called. And that was like one of his early records. Matter of fact, Colin, I'm gonna look in the DAR right now, and maybe I can like play you some songs that was recorded in April, like
Sure.
in the 78 RPM era, of course. Let me take a look. Let me go to Discord and look for it. Is it April 53? Right? So let's take a look, see what was recorded.
That's where we're at in April.
Okay, April. Okay, cool. Let's
They
take
were
a look.
born in
I don't think
1953.
DAR has 50 stuff, but let me take a look. Like the source I'm gonna use, I don't think it has like 50 stuff because they mostly.
Oh man, so funny.
Let's see. Let's take a look. So let's go to date here. So 1953. 04. You know what day or just a month?
Oh yeah, just the month is fine.
Just a month. Let's take a look. Yeah. I knew it. It doesn't really go 50 stuff. I knew it. Doesn't really. This site that I'm using doesn't really go 50 stuff. I knew it. They don't really go 50 stuff here. I knew it. Because they usually specify like stuff from like, because DAR usually specifies stuff from like early 20th century stuff. Like ones from like the 1900s, teens, 20s, maybe 30s and 40s. But I don't really have like a whole thing about. If I went for like the whole, like if I put like a day, let's say for, yeah. Let me go to another source. See if I can find like what recorded and. Let's see what recorded. Let me see what recorded today. Maybe I can play you some things like what will record today. But I think that would be nice. So today is today is. I have to put the year in. That just sucks, you know.
You just work on it. I'll throw some facts about June of '53 while you're trying to get that up and running.
Yeah, yeah, that would be great.
Yeah. June of '53, Queen Elizabeth II's crowned in the second week.
June, okay.
Yeah, she had over 8,000 guests. Witnessed the coronation ceremony at St. Paul's Cathedral. The Queen was told in the morning of the success of the British Everest expedition. East Berlin was really new.
Wait, East Berlin was formed. Wait, was it formed yet?
Yeah, there's East and West Berlin, and the thing is, East Berlin was under Russian control, and the workers clashed with the communist police and Russian troops, and 16 people died. That's when the Russian authorities actually imposed martial law and a ban on all demonstrators. So it got pretty bad.
Okay.
25,000 communist prisoners were released by South Korea in defiance of the UN, and on the orders of South Korean President Ri, the prisoners were released. So
April. Yeah, I don't know what. Okay, so what recorded? Okay, so you want to hear what recorded today in 1908 at least?
Sure.
Okay, so we got Ed Morton, and this is from 1908 because that just came up in my when I went to DAR. That just came up, but it says it's not 53, but it's from 1908. Ed Morton, a singer, sang a song. Billy Murray when Highland Mary did the Highland Firing, and we got the Victor Dance Orchestra coming with the Pamplona Waltz. We got Ada Jones and Billy Murray, Cuddle Up a Little Closer, Lovely Mine, and same thing with Ada Jones and Billy Murray, The Boy Who Stuttered and the Girl Who Lisped. And Ed Morton is Music Makes Me Sentimental, and that is all Victor's.
Ed Morton, isn't he the sidekick to Ralph Cramden?
The
Honeymooners.
No, not that Ed Morton.
Over your head.
Now I know what you're talking about. Not that Ed Morton, no. The singer from like the 1900s, but did he when did he pass, by the way? Well, he passed in 1938, so he wouldn't able to get to see it.
He was there in the spirit.
Yeah.
It says here that June 53, the surplus meat went off ration in the UK. Announced that an extra 2 penny worth of meat ration book will be issued to butchers, who will be permitted to sell off any not required to meet the 2S4D 12P ration for registered customers. Notice I use just the alphabet because I have no idea what D stands for. What is D?
Penny, D is pennies.
Yeah, I can't find anything. Let's see, recordings.
It means
I'm very curious.
decimal, I think.
Is it 45 RPM worlds?
Yeah, D is just penny. Dinaris, I think. It's a Roman term. What's it called?
By year.
Just trying to see the chat.
Okay, now we're getting into my birth month, July 53.
July 53. Let's.
Remember that clash in East Berlin? Well, the state of emergency ended the first week of July, and the Russian authorities ended the curfew in East Berlin. Step nearer to a Korean truce. The communists agreed yesterday to begin preparations for the signature of a Korean armistice. If the South Koreans resume hostilities after the armistice, they will receive no UN support in the event of communist. My goodness.
That's about radio. That's not shellac.
And Blackpool and Bolton Wanderers in front of 100,000 people played at the FA Cup Stadium at Wembley in 1953.
That's huge.
And Blackpool winning 4-3. It was the eighth. It was the 8th FA Cup final at Wembley, which is Football Association. If anybody's interested, 100,000 people.
Well, you know, in Britain in July of 50, the big Bath swindle went on. Scotland Yard are investigating to bring off the biggest betting coup ever known in Britain. A French horse running under the name Franskal won the 2 p.m. race at Bath at 10-1. A few minutes before, the bookmakers all over England were flooded with heavy bets. When they tried to lay off the bets on the course and shorten the price, it was found that the blower telephone system exclusive to bookies was cut. The yard is satisfied that Franskal was switched for another French bay, Santa Amoro, and the £350,000 payout facing the bookies was stopped.
Wow.
And that's the way it was.
A lot of scandals going on back then. It's at Mekawaya, California.
Let me see. 53.
I don't know where my book is.
Did you know in 53?
Okay, so you want to hear?
Just a second.
Oh, sorry.
I'm mid-talk here.
Sorry.
Since in 1953, there were still 20,000 British troops and from 15 different regiments still on frontline duty. searching out terrorists that were streaming in the Malayan jungles. So you well imagine those poor buggers in 53. They'd already gone through World War II in Korea. A lot of them are sitting out in the jungles of Malaysia, still doing frontline stuff. Now, History Man, what do you have to say?
Yeah. Okay, so I did found one recording from like April 25th, 1953. It's a rock and roll record. It's Bill Haley, What You Gonna Do?
Was he with the Comets at the time?
Huh?
Was he with the Comets?
No, it's just him.
Okay.
No. He's with the Comets, yeah. And I found this. This is what I found so far, at least on YouTube. I tried YouTube. Let's see if I could hear it. Hold on, let me see. Okay, never mind. All right. I mean, I could like play it if you want me to.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, cool. Let me just go to my screen here.
What are you doing over there? Why?
There's some audio.
I can't find my British Banknote album I did today.
Oh, that's good.
Oh boy.
What'd you do with it?
No, nothing. It's just my computer. Oh. Okay, share. All right, I'm not sure if it's there, if it's available to see it. Okay.
There. Now I have bookends, and I'm the ham between two slices of bread.
You see the screen though? I can't see it from here.
No, I don't. Well, I see yours.
Oh, you see the no, the click on the other one that says History Man right there. There's another like tab that you can like. Yeah, you see it? Okay. See my screen, right? My screen there?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
One for the money, two for the show. Get ready and here I go. Well, what you gonna do when your lover's gone away? I said, what you gonna do when your lover's gone away? I told you, pretty baby, every dog has his day. Once we were happy as could be. You didn't like my peaches, so you stuck another tree. Well, what you gonna do when your lover's gone away? I said, what you gonna do when your lover's gone away? I told you, pretty baby, every dog has his day. In the morning, miss me every night. I tried to tell you, honey, but you wouldn't treat me right. Oh, what you gonna do when your love is gone away? I said, what you gonna do when your love is gone away? Oh, I told you, pretty baby, every dog has his day. 1 and 1 is 2, 2 and 2 is 4. Wait to me, honey, when I'm walking out the door. Oh, what you gonna do? Her love is gone away. I said, what you gonna do when your love is gone away? Well, I told you, pretty baby, every dog has his day.
share.
Yeah, no problem. And that was recorded on April 25th, 1953. And does it say where? In New York. Yeah, of course it will be in New York.
Wow.
Yeah, but I can't find anyone. I mean, except for I found a couple. I got Louis Armstrong, April in Portugal. No, that one. That was recorded in June of '53. I have. There's Tag Williams trumpet. That was recorded in April of '53 in Memphis.
Rob, what did you say, Rob?
And then you have Eddie Fisher, but I don't know who. Yeah, and that's what I can find right now.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, there's other more. Tiny Bradshaw, Heavy Juice. Lulu had a baby, but I don't know who's that by. I wish I could say people who's that by. Lloyd Price. I wish your picture was you. That was recorded in April '53.
Cool.
I can go on and on. Like a lot of things was recorded, but.
Did you know the Russians shot down a B-50 bomber first week of August '53? They actually shot it out of the sky using MiGs.
Using what?
Yeah, they shot the bomber down, and the Russian Navy went over and picked up the survivors, and brought them to Moscow.
That's interesting. And what did we do about it?
Well, of course they managed to get them, but it was a different time. Well, not too much different considering what's going on now. Oh,
Okay.
and of course, just like today, the weather was terrible. Temperatures were in the 90s
It's
plus.
the worst weather in history, I think, 1953.
Yeah, they had the scorching heat,
Yeah.
all kinds of fires and thunderstorms in the south of England, and the west, constant floods and damage.
Yeah, and we survived them, but now look at it. It's going, oh no, we need to run away because it's going to get a bit warm.
This guy's interesting.
Neil, has changed over the years, but I'm glad, because if it was all the same genre, it would get monotonous. It's nice to have different music to listen to. I mean, if I'm feeling mellow, my favorite music. There's only one music I can listen to where if you play it soft, it's easy listening and you can veg out, and you play it loud and it's party music. That's reggae. I can listen to Bob Marley and the Wailers till the cows come home. It's just amazing. Of course, there's a lot of other nice. Oh, the Andrews Sisters. I love them.
Yeah, a nice Carmen Miranda song from 1935. I forgot what it was called already. I keep forgetting all types of stuff, man. But it was a good song though.
You guys remember the Shah of Iran before the Ayatollah?
Yeah.
Run him out. That wasn't the first time that a coup went on that he had to leave. In August of '53, he had already been ousted, and his personal guard actually restored him, and had a triumphal return back to Iran. Yeah. So it looks like he had troubles for quite a while.
I did not know that.
And the Greek islands.
What happened?
The Greek islands had more earthquakes. Why am I not surprised?
Skipper, what is that?
That is a bill of some sort. Hold on. That's a
That's a 10 shilling bill.
Bank of England 10 shilling note from what year? It looks That's a nice shape.
That's a nice shape. Yeah.
Well, that is from your birth. That is from 1953 to 1955.
That is a beautiful note.
Um,
What's on the other side?
the other side is a lovely picture of this.
Hmm.
Do you know what these banknotes are?
No, I don't.
Right, I'll give you a later version. Okay, that's the later version. And if you notice, it doesn't have a monarch on.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Right. Apart from the Britannia and the watermark. Okay. Well, these are called 10 bob notes or 10 shilling notes. 10 bob. Bob, as I said earlier, shilling, 50p. And these replaced our 50 pences. So actually these were worth 100 and 240, 120 pence notes then. Yeah, 10 bob, 120 pence. So when they changed, these went into 50 pences, and they stopped making these. I got the silver ones down there. I'll get my silver ones out in a minute. But yeah, that is from your era. I was trying to find a banknote from your time. So yeah, they went into our large 50 pences in 1968, which is a shame really, because I prefer them than our 50p's.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought I'd try and find you a banknote rather than coins, and I'll show you something really cool actually.
I think so.
I don't like getting this out very often, but just to show you what I'm talking about.
Right.
That's our first decimalization day, so these are our large coins.
Oh, that's a nice collection to have.
So that's the coins that we've been talking about, and then it went to the coins that I know about when I was a kid.
See, I have that framed.
I got no. I mean, it's in a case, so I got
it's in
nowhere
a
to put it. Yeah. I'll show you something else in a second. Oh, this is from your time as well, Skipper. That's pure silver, by the way. Just to show you.
Oh, so this is a commemorative.
Yeah, it's once it's bent, it's knackered. I don't get these out very often. So yeah, that was from 1940 to 1962. So that's the emergency wartime issue £1 note. But there you go. And this is the one I just showed you, the banknote I just showed you.
Oh man, I do like shiny. That's a nice collectible.
All right, I'm back.
Can you buy gas with them, Dale?
Might leave soon. I want to get a.
You probably could. Yeah, you probably could.
I might get some sausage rolls after this.
Are you running off there?
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the pizzeria and get me some sausage rolls.
Pizzeria for sausage rolls.
Yep.
This a little corner type pizzeria.
Yeah, it's like around the corner.
I used to like them way better than the big chain stores.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, thank you very much for coming up and sharing some of your music and history. And
Yeah, no problem. I'm glad I can do it. Sorry if I came very, very short. Well, it's like half an hour I've been with you, so. But
anytime.
I'm glad I can do it. So I'll see you next.
You bet. That
one thing before I leave. What is that? I saw it, but I didn't say anything.
looks like a wedding invitation.
Hey, that's what it literally looks like.
No, these are silver banknotes.
Oh, it's a silver. That's a thing.
The white fiver, he calls it.
That's interesting. That's actually pretty cool.
It is pure silver. I think they actually. I wrapped it up pretty good, so I don't obviously have finger marks on them. They're already protected, but it's like triple protection.
Yeah, that's pretty good that you did that. But yeah, that's.
But yeah, that is solid silver. That is. If it bends, I see it's knackered. I don't get these ones out very often.
No, that's a thing. But I see you guys, and we'll probably see you guys in the next live stream. So take care, y'all.
Take care of yourself.
Okay, you take care, brother. The other one I have is this one.
Those are really unique.
I love these.
The good old days when a pound was a pound.
Yeah. Apart from this one, this is only 100 pennies to the pound. The one before was 200 pennies to the pound. 240 pennies to the pound.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all in this folder here.
The mussel shells in the house. Welcome aboard.
Yeah, your birthday is kind of a tricky one for me, isn't it? Birthday, I should say.
Maybe a little. There's a lot of stuff, that wartime stuff going on. I mean, September of '53, that was the final exchange of prisoners for the Korean War. Communists sent the UN 12,751 prisoners, and the UN returned 74,000 Chinese and North Koreans.
Wow.
And that was the year, too, that squadron leader Neville Duke, he established the new world airspeed record in a Hawker Hunter. The average 27.6 miles per hour.
Yeah, a Hawker Hunter's a Ferrari disguise, they call it. And did you know, I think it was 60s, late 60s, a rogue pilot who didn't like the way the Air Force was changing, he flew out of spite a Hawker Hunter through the Tower Bridge.
Oh, wow.
I'll see if there's a picture of it. I'm not sure what year it was, but
Yeah, there was quite a change in cars too in the UK in '53. Eh?
Yeah. I think 53. So it was 53. We'd have had the with the Triumph Spitfires and was that 60s?
Well, it was the introduction of the Morris Minor.
Yeah, the Morris Minor.
And you had the Ford actually come out with a vehicle. It was called the Ford Popular.
Yeah, the Ford Popular. Went on to the Zodiac after that, if I remember rightly.
Austin come out with the A30, and Aston Martin came out with the DB2-4 drop head coupe, which, by the way, looks an awful lot like
James Bond.
Well, yeah, I would love to, if I was still young, I would love to bomb around in that thing.
Yeah, there's the picture of the Hawker Hunter flying through Tower Bridge.
Wow.
I don't know if you can see it very well, but
that done legally or illegally?
He got away with it. Hawker Hunter Tower Bridge occurred on 5th of April 1968. The Royal Air Force Hawker Hunter pilot by Alan Pollock performed an unauthorized low flying with several landmarks, then flew through the span of Tower Bridge. It was to defy what was going on. I'm not really too sure the ins and outs, but he didn't like. He was retiring anyway, I believe, but I'm not really too sure of the actual incident. But you can that's the original photo.
Unbelievable. I guess England had a real shortage of dentists back in '53. And I think about the pictures I've seen of a lot of the common folks in the UK, all their teeth were rotten. Just like, well, that would explain why.
Probably from all the sugar that was only available throughout the war. Just eat a ton of sugar.
Great Britain also sent troops to Guyana in October of '53.
There was a lot of war stuff, a lot of conflicts, and well, it's almost every year is going to have that. You know what I mean? It's just takes over all the good stuff.
Yeah. Where do you think Britain tested their atomic weapons at?
That was Bikini Beach, wasn't it?
In October of '53, it wasn't Bikini Atoll. No. They actually exploded a nuclear weapon in Woomera, Australia.
Yeah, Australia, yeah. I think that's Northwest Territory.
Out in the middle of the boonies somewhere.
Australia, yeah. Sorry. I know the British nuked America twice.
They also had a week-long strike in October. All the petrol drivers. So for 25 miles outside of London, all the way through into the interior, nothing was moving. No gas.
No gas. That happened in '97 as well, when the petrol prices went up. The tankers refused to move. And I bought a brand new bike, and it was just actually quicker to ride the bike than it was to actually drive to work, because it was like up through the fields. So yeah, it was pretty cool. Muscle Shell. Can you buy gas with them? But no, those ones, no, they're not worth getting a bit of petrol or diesel for those ones anyway. But I'm pretty sure you could. It does say pound and on them, but I think they are actually strictly not legal tender. So
you folks in the UK, I'm telling you, when it comes to sports and festivities, you know no bounds. I mean,
no.
oh my goodness, you know, in '53, back in November of '53, Guy Fawkes Day.
Yeah,
they
November.
celebrated Guy Fawkes Day. It was the biggest festival since pre-war days. Okay, it was huge, absolutely huge, and it was so bad in London that it was the most violence that they'd seen since before World War II, and over 100 people ended up appearing before the London magistrate.
That's when I mean, I remember a story up top of the road. It was like penny for the guy, and obviously people dressed in their dummies with straw or old rags or whatever, and this person actually sat in as a real person. They stabbed him. Just think it was a real. So it wasn't. Yeah, it is.
See, Guy Fawkes Night to me is just watching Guy Fawkes go up in a blaze of glory while we're sitting around eating treacle toffee.
I don't know where the treacle toffee come from, but yeah, for Guy Fawkes, it wasn't a pleasant night. He got, you know, hung, drawn and quartered, and then, you know, stretched by horses. And there's actually a famous signature of him where he signed the form in his normal handwriting, and after being on the rack and all the torture he went through, you can see the deterioration, of pain when he tried signing his name. But yeah, he man.
It went from him being absolutely gutted and drawn, quartered, and all the rest of that crap, and then burnt in effigy, and to fireworks.
Yeah, well, the funny thing was, he actually jumped off the scaffolding to kill himself. So not only did he go through all that, he jumped off the scaffold and broke his collarbone. Because he knew what was coming. So he thought he'd just try and do himself in, but it didn't work. He ended up just causing more injuries to himself.
Wasn't a good day for him.
No.
You know, I love the British Parliament. Of course, we have the Senate, and you have the House of Lords. And the fourth week of November, the Lords voted for commercial television.
Oh yeah.
Peers have backed the Conservative government's proposal for the introduction of commercial television.
Yeah, commercial television was amazing. It still is, and the BBC is so far behind. They're not commercial. So they take the public money. If you don't pay it, they imprison you. But you don't have to have a TV license. That's what people don't understand. You don't actually have to have it. It's only if you're watching, say, a sporting program that's being aired that particular moment, that's when you need a TV license. But if you watch it an hour afterwards, where it's not being broadcasted live, you do not need a TV license.
What do you do in the council houses that have the TVs where you actually had to pop your coins into the TV to keep it going?
Oh yeah, the telly man, we used to call him, and I loved him. He was great. And what he would do what my parents did, we had this top box, they called it, and it started off at 5p. Then it went to 10p. It went to 50p, and I think it lasted 4 hours. So you rented a telly, okay, because we obviously couldn't afford one. So we rented a TV, and then every 4 hours, the 50p had to go in it's like a butterfly switch, you know.
Yeah.
And it lasts 4 hours or 6 hours, whatever. And my dad would put in like £2 in, and that would last up until 10 o'clock, because 11 o'clock, the TV, every station was shut down, and you know, they would say "God save the Queen."
I
you
thought
know.
it was bad when we went off at 12 midnight.
Yeah, ours went off around about 11, about half 11, I think it was. I mean, I was too young. I think it's half 11. But anyway, when the telly man came round to empty the meter, he'd say, "Help me count it." I went, "All right then." So I count up the 50 pences, okay? And for helping him, he'd always give me 50p. So that was like diamond, you know, that was like a whole weekend's worth of fun. But what my mum and dad did, is they would pay the rent. They'd pay so much for the rent of the telly, so much for the broadcast of the TV, and then the rest went into a Christmas thing. So they'll save through Christmas for our Christmas presents all year, and that's how we got our Christmas with the TV man. It was really cool. But every time he used to come around, like I think it's like every 3 months, but and it'd be like a big black box on the back of the telly.
And that's where all the coins were.
Yeah. I guarantee you now, a load of people. Same with electricity. You put like 50p into the meter, or a 2 bob coin, 10 pence, whatever you want to call it. And then later on, they had these ones that were keyed. My brother had an ingenious idea that my car key fitted it, and they fitted my car key fitted this box, and he would open them up and empty them. And the excuse my dad would say to stop and get him in trouble was that we don't watch much TV. Because they can't monitor it.
Not like they're monitoring it.
Yeah, it's not, you know, if it's off, it's off, and it was off at the time the TV man. It was a different TV man then, but that was when it went up to a pound for like 4 hours. So like everything goes up, you get less. You know, things go up, you get less. But yeah, it was. But the TV license is an absolutely rip-off. I mean, you got Netflix, you got Amazon, you got Disney, you got all those. Obviously got YouTube and whatever. And I don't believe in paying for the TV license. The only time, because I like watching football and sports, we have it. That's why we have it, because it's live TV. That's the only time you need it. It's live TV or BBC iPlayer. But you can watch any other television, providing it's not being broadcast. Like the news, I'll watch it an hour later on YouTube, and it's the same news anyway. So, yep, it's £159 for a year. And what's the thing called of it, Christopher Ty? What's it called? The charter, the TV charter they call it, and that's not up until 2027. But Lord David, whatever his face is, oh God, I can't remember his name now. Is it Livy? Lord David Livy, something like that. He now, when you're over 75, you used to get it for free. And blind, but now blind people have to pay for it, and so does over 75s. So, and they got this so-called detector van, and if you ever look at the 70s, yeah, they had these detector vans, right? And it'd be a guy in the back of a van with a TV guide going, this man is watching the BBC, and he is watching Columbo, and it's a TV guide. I bet you can see. You can't see it. And then there was the only time they will catch you if someone let them in your house, or you got scared and you just admitted to it. But the thing is, even if you was watching live TV, we call them goons, are not allowed to look through your window. So if you live on a top-story flat, a secured apartment block, for argument's sake, it's like New York, okay? You got a million TVs in there, right? Okay. How are they going to detect you. But the army said how it all stopped. The army said, if you got this technology and we haven't, how does it work? And they still wouldn't, so they scrapped it because of the army. The army noticed this. Well, where haven't we got this type of technology? But the BBC has, you know, a corporation.
Crazy.
But yeah, if you let them in, what they do, because if you notice on your TVs, right, or over here, there's a charter on every television that has to be programmed. So when you turn your telly on, it goes straight to the BBC anyway. So when the telly man comes into your house, okay, he turns the TV on, it's going to go straight to the BBC anyway. So you're bound to rights.
This absolutely sounds Orwellian.
It most certainly is. Even though if you watch YouTube the night before and you leave it on YouTube, it doesn't. It goes straight to BBC. Your TV is programmed to go straight to BBC. And they've been known to plug aerials in when you've got no aerial on the roof to get you done. But you get over £1,000 fine, or you go a prison for a week. But there's never been a conviction of that. The courts are normally likely to say, forget it, or they say if you like continuously doing it, they're likely to give you like a £200 fine. But that's about it. But they send thousands of letters out to people. They've had people turn up. All you got to do is just close the door and say goodbye. They have no powers. Well, even though they think they have powers to come into your house, they don't. They can't even have to look into your home. But yeah, if you do it properly, you have nothing to worry about. But we do have a TV license because, you know, we do watch live TV.
Unreal. Bringing up something that's...
No, they don't do that anymore, Neil. They don't, because obviously when kids go and buy a TV, so like a portable TV, they're not going to have a TV license. That's another way of trying to catch you. But you know, a 17-year-old going to get a TV for his bedroom for the first time is not going to have a TV license. So they don't do that anymore.
I miss the days when we had antennas and we didn't have a cable bill.
Yeah, well, we still would have.
Unbelievable. I just want to bring up a point too here is that 53 was a huge change in the British Mint. The Royal Mint before 53, the amount of coinage that they produced was meager. It was absolutely meager. And the only new coins were half pennies and farthings and yellow 3-penny bits. But in 53, it was different. Every coin was struck for circulation with the exception of the penny. The penny has been struck only for inclusion in the special sets of coins. Yeah. So we know that now.
I said that earlier. Austrian Stacker, Wordner. I'm glad you got your package. I got one more thing to send to you anyway. I got another thing to send you there, Austrian Stacker. Hello, he says. So yeah, Austrian Stacker, I've got something to show you actually before. I've got some banknotes today, and I wonder if Austrian Stacker knows these.
Don't know. It's pretty sharp looking though.
A 1950 10 shilling and a 1920 10 hellier. I don't know if you can see that there, can you?
Did you call that a 10 hellia?
10 hellier, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. That's my first Austrian. Yeah, my first Austrian banknotes. And what else did I get today? I bought these a little while ago. I think these are really, really pretty coins. These are 50 shillings. I don't know if Austrian Stack is still here, but
Oh, Christopher, have you seen the new website, mycollection.com? Is that like oh boy, I'm blanking. Help me here. For keeping track of your collection.
I got another coin here for Austria. Where is it gone? Oh, where's it gone? Oh, there it is. I can't remember the date because I can't see it. Half shilling.
Yeah, thanks for stopping in there, my friend. I'll talk to you later.
You take care, William E. I can't remember the date of this one, so, but I know it's a half shilling. And Hella. Oh, okay, it's pronounced Hella. He gave me a challenge once to say Austrian in Austria in Austrian. So I'm going to have a go for a laugh. All right, okay? He's probably going to shoot me because I probably pronounced it all wrong. Let me just get a call.
I'm curious to see if you could answer this question.
Okay. I can't even speak English, let alone Austrian. Republic of Osterreich. Osterreich? Osterreich? Is that close? Am I close, Austrian Stacker? Please tell me yes or no. For a crappy English person, am I saying you're...
Yeah, that's quite the Austrian accent you have there, Dale.
I know, right? Terrible, isn't it? Osterreich. He's probably wetting himself now. He's probably recording this. He's going to use this as his ringtone. I love these coins. I love the edge writing on the edge. Patty Ferguson's laughing at me as well. I have trouble with English. I have trouble with American. I have trouble with Australian, Canadian. I mean, that's why Skipper's here to correct me on my Canadian. I don't want the answer. I don't put a value on my coins. Am I pronouncing Austrian in Austrian correctly? Osterreich. I don't know. He's not answering me because I don't know. He should come up and tell me. What do you think, Skipper? How would you pronounce Austrian? Austria in Austrian.
Let me think on that now.
People stop registering your stacks or collect. People stop registering your stacks or collections on homepage. You don't know. People stop registering your stacks or collections on your homepage. You don't know what they're doing with your data. I'm so sorry. I butcher the English. I got you know, got to butcher something.
I just don't know if I can get that phlegm into my throat to get that guttural sound.
Stop butchering my language.
Och the music over fatherland. It can be a piccolo, piccolo. Och von libre over fatherland. How's that?
He's probably butchering his languages.
It can be a zumbaza, zumbaza. Och von libre over fatherland. That's it. Numista. That's the one I was trying to remember, Christopher.
All right. Okay. I don't use Numista anyway.
I don't want to have to switch over all my bloody Excel spreadsheets I worked for flipping years on to put it in Numista. Then I have to take pictures and all the rest of that stuff.
No, I don't. I never use Numista. I think it's like I done a coin the other day. I done it a couple of weeks, about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And by the time it gets to you guys, it's already like 2 or 3 weeks old. And it was what was it? It was a state province of the Rhine. What was that coin called? It was Prussia. Coming around, great to see you. How are you doing? But they use the black and white with the eagle flag. I asked a lot of people on Austrian Stacker would like the link in the chat. I'll wait for Austrian Stacker to come up actually.
Here's an impression of Dale looking at a Prussian coin. My Prussian.
That's every coin.
Okay, I'm gonna get that link in.
It's even my Roman coins as well. But here's my specials I'm going through. I've got tons of coins I'm trying to sort out. And this of my Roman stuff. Some of this I've actually found myself. I haven't gone all through them. Probus, Marcus Aurelius, Trojan Circus. I can't remember that one. Valians. Got to sort that one out. I don't know why the Floridin's in there. Constantine II, Tiberius, Gallius. There's a few Roman coins now. I've got a lot more to go through. But these ones are not even videoed yet. Gallius, Claudius, or Nero. We all know who Gallius is, don't we? Emperor Gallius. Emperor Gallius is Little Boots. You know who Little Boots is?
Little what?
Little Boots. That's
Little Boots. Little Boots. Yeah,
Yeah.
Little Boots was hold on. I was Nero. No, was it Nero?
No, it's not with Nero. No,
Caligula.
Caligula. Yeah, as the Caligula shoe.
Caligula. Yeah, he was Little Boots because he used to go on campaign with his father.
Yeah, that's right. Well, he was a mascot to the Roman Legion. and he hated it. He absolutely hated being called Little Boots. But he was a very disturbed child.
Yeah, I know. Okay, we've got trouble in the house.
Hello, my Austrian friend. How you doing, buddy?
Hello, Dale. Hello, Skipper.
Look at the fancy
Sorry, I
logo.
needed to come up after I've heard Dale mispronouncing all this.
Mispronouncing. Thank you for the compliment.
Was ist los? Das ist verboten.
First of all, my country is not called Österreich. It's not called Österreich.
Sorry, that's all I know.
It's International Stack always calls it Österreich. The right pronunciation is Österreich.
Österreich.
In the beginning it's a Ö, and in the end it's a Österreich.
I knew there was a in there somewhere.
I'm so sorry. I was way off the mark. If my life depended on that, I'd lost.
This is so funny.
So how are you doing then, Mr. Austrian Stacker?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Just horribly tired, but well.
I know you've been partying a lot.
Yeah, right.
No. I've got a little gift I forgot to send to you, actually. I'll show you it.
You sent me so many gifts. Stop sending me gifts.
No, this is supposed to go in there as well, and it's got to be sent to you, okay?
Just as long as he doesn't send you a bouquet of flowers, you're fine. What would
Arnie do? That's cool.
So I saw this and I thought, this is Austrian Stacker. So, and I forgot to put it in your package. So that's got to go to you. I'm glad you got your package okay anyway. That's a thank you.
I uploaded a video yesterday where I was talking about your package.
Oh yeah, I got my printer don't work. So if you want me to email you the COA, I don't mind doing that for you. But it's entirely up to you. I've got it here anyway, so I'm glad you got it. But that was a little thank you and a token of appreciation to say, thank you for all the things you've done for me. And you've been amazing.
It was quite tricky because it took me like half an hour to make a picture of the Jubilee hallmark because actually with my camera I didn't manage to zoom in because I needed to get too close and then with my iPhone my hands were shaking too much, so it took me like half an hour to make a picture of it, but finally I was able to make a picture where I could really see the hallmark.
I mean it was done a while ago, but I got a few spare, so I thought, because I leave them blank, so if anybody wants to put their own artwork to it, whatever, or as a gift or an engraving or anything like that is why I leave them blank. I just do the hallmark and then it's down to the customer to do what they want with them, if that makes sense. So that's why I do the bars blank and the little rounds, whatever. So if they want to do something for a loved one or a token or so that, so that's why I've left it blank.
This is already piece number 3 I have on my desk from you, because I like hand put silver, and I have a few pieces, one from Back at Bullion and 3 of your pieces I have on my desk. So I frequently, when I'm in video call, I work a lot from home when I'm not traveling, so I have them on my desk, and when I'm in video calls or something, I start playing with it and
playing with it. But I mean, I like doing little bars because it's obviously I have to separate. What I do, I keep cleaning the silver over and over when I'm pouring it, and they come out super smooth. So it's pretty cool. but yeah, I because obviously what you sent me, obviously Skipper and everybody else. So there's gonna be a few being sent out. I've done them a while ago, but I just didn't have a chance to obviously do COAs. That's the only thing. That's why I hadn't sold them ones. But so that's what I'm doing. They're just going to go out as surprise gifts. I know it's not much, but it's like a thank you, you know.
No,
But
what do you mean? It's not much. I mean, this is such a great present. I know you made it, yeah. So this is a piece of hand-put silver art from a friend. So this is better than anything else for me, at least.
But yeah, I haven't done silver pouring now for a little while. But hiya, Patty. Yeah, it's just you know, with medical stuff and going on, and yeah, it's just bit difficult to do, especially when all the lectures at your prices went up like sky high. You know, everything had to turn off. You know what I mean? So running a furnace is quite expensive.
You got to set up one of those treadmills in the backyard so that Zoe's out there and she's walking on the thing providing power.
I was about to say that. Or I can say Austrian wrong again and get all the Austrians after me and put them on a treadmill. Loads of electricity.
I never thought of that.
But no, I mean, you and this is what I love about the community. I mean, I got a lot of things. I got a lot of things planned. I got a lot of things to send out to everybody. Just be patient with me. I've got a lot of things to go, and obviously I get this out to you. There's something else I need to send you as well. It's going to go with that actually. So I hope that will come to you very soon. But when I saw that, I said that is definitely got to be Austrian Stacker, and it says, "What would Arnie do?"
Who else would it be?
I love that book.
Oops. I'm dropping things again. Sorry.
Well, no, you got the influence to Skipper. He does dropping stuff.
Hey. At least I got a grabber to pick it up.
How do I turn on my camera? Yeah.
How's it going, Patty?
Oh, it's good. It's hot here. Well, I came into the garage and it's like 100 in here.
Whoa.
Look at those stickers.
Huh?
Look at that perfect piece of pouring.
My goodness. Wait a minute.
Wow.
I recognize that piece. And that one too.
Nice.
Yeah, I said these are the pieces I have on my desk. Yeah, this is from back at Bullion. And all these other pieces are from Dale. I mean, this is my favorite piece. I love it so much. And Dale, stop telling the people that this was an accident. Yeah, I know that you were an artist, and this was intended to look like that.
Yeah, the Reddit one.
Oh man, this one's hot.
The thing is, though, I have it laser engraved, so it's definitely not stamped on there. That is the you can't even zoom in onto the hallmark because it's at the top. See, because the actual official Queen's Jubilee hallmark is what Skipper's granddaughter's got.
Yeah, and she loves that thing, by the way.
Yeah, these were done a little while ago, and my printer broke down. That's why Skipper didn't get his hallmark, his COA. I still got his. But that'll be sent off though. That'll be done. But yeah, that's got the Platinum Jubilee on it. But I done them in early 2022, I think. Mind you, the best thing I sent Austrian Stacker has got to be the duck.
Yeah, you know, I've all your gifts here on my desk. So sorry, I'm just struggling with the headphones. So
the duck's the best thing. Skipper's intrigued. What duck?
Yeah, Dale and I, we are both LFC fans, so.
LOC.
LFC.
Oh,
Liverpool.
thank goodness. I thought you meant Amway's LOC, Love on Contact.
Do you know what? I actually like that piece, to be honest. That's actually a really nice piece.
I love it. That's why I have it on my desk.
Looks
But I
like
also
it's
love the
something that's
cross.
come out of a cathedral or something.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I turned it into in the end.
But actually, I have one more piece on my desk, which is the.
Oh, your cross from 49 Silver is amazing.
Yeah, exactly. Jerusalem cross from
Yeah.
49 Fine Silver.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
nice.
that's
really
amazing. That's my favorite piece you have there.
I'd show you my Sword in the Stone, but my wife ran off with it.
I can show you them if you like. Did you ever see the pumpkin I made for Skipper's granddaughter there?
Yeah, sure.
I think when you take the effort and make something, it means so much more than something that's just store bought.
Right.
That's the hallmark there. That's my hallmark.
When I used to make hallmarks, I used to get in trouble by my teachers.
Graved at the back.
Went right over his head.
Hallmarked with the teachers.
You get marked in the head when you get in the hole. I got it.
That's it.
Yeah, hallmark. And do you know what the funny thing was, right? Skipper was actually, I was pouring it all live with you and I, Skipper.
What?
When I was making this round for your granddaughter.
I spent so much time on with you, and you just would not give up. How many pours did that take?
10.
18, was it? 18?
Oh, was it 18?
Attempts.
You get that's what it like when it came out eventually. That's what it looked like before the cleanup, and everything was done by hand. So, and that's what it looked like afterwards.
It's so cute.
No machining.
We're not
all
home,
done by hand.
so it meant a lot to her.
That's an awesome video as well. My God, it's me and my buddies.
To me, seeing those kind of hallmarks on a silver or gold bar means so much more.
Yeah.
I mean, I see a lot that's poured in the U.S. that's just hand stamped in.
Yeah, that's it's illegal in most of the European Union countries and in the UK to sell silver items with a weight of more than I think it's 30 grams. That's not hallmarked, so it's illegal to sell it as silver.
Wow.
Yeah. And
this is why sorry, this is why I really like Dale's work and Backyard Bullion's work, because they do it the right way. Everything they are selling or even if it's a gift, you always get it hallmarked, which means it's officially a piece of silver, and otherwise it would just be a piece of art or whatever. Yeah, but the way how they are doing it is the right way, and this is correct from legal point of view, and so you would even be allowed to sell it as silver.
Yeah, it's a legal requirement. There is some countries, if you do some countries like Albania or whatever, you have to put an S mark on it. So if you get any other country like that, it must have an S mark on the actual piece itself. But yeah, I enjoy it. I love making stuff. What you got there, Patty? What's your son?
1953. What was it? The halfpenny, Australian halfpenny. Australian.
Okay.
I don't know.
Where'd you find that one?
I ended up buying it at one of my favorite shop here. There.
Cool.
That's actually much better. Do you know what? You got StreamYards down to a T because I can't get that clarity on it.
Yeah, look at the clarity on it. See, that's how it's done there, Dale.
I know you're right. Yeah. First portrait of Queen Elizabeth.
And then my phone is like on fire. And then a 53 partial rotated penny.
Oh, cool.
It's
Lincoln
so
Memorial.
very, I couldn't, it's like, I can't understand. I can't see the rotation. And I did look, and it's like, I mean, very minimally rotated, but it is slightly rotated. God, it's shaking now.
Yeah, it's gone over by a few degrees, isn't it?
Yeah, just a little bit. Oh, I have it upside down. Wait, I did it right. I did it right.
Yeah,
Anyway. And then I can't grab this phone. It's hot. I took the cover off so I could. And then
Ooh, copper.
around the copper.
I love copper rounds. I think they're, to me, as a Wilder, I think copper is the most underrated metal.
Yep, I agree.
So in Colorado, I mean, I'm not big on the marijuana, but they did this one in Colorado. They
That's
established
pretty
it
cool,
in
actually.
2012 when they legalized it in Colorado.
They're everywhere.
I wouldn't be surprised Canada switches out the maple leaf for a pot plant.
Yeah, imagine that. Ooh.
Well,
What's that one?
no, I can't do it.
That's
So
Sorry,
is that a
it's
Canadian dollar?
Canadian dollar.
And it's not a
Yeah.
53, it's a 61, I think. 61
That's
is
silver.
yeah.
80% silver.
Yep. Anyway, but I looked through all my stuff for a 50.
Oh, hello.
And,
I'm
and
back.
there she was, gone.
Austin Stacker, what do you think of these then?
What do I think about what?
These 50 shillings.
They're cool, actually. The left one.
This one.
It is. I think this was a anniversary of the Austrian state TV station. No, the other one.
Oh, that one.
The one with the ellipses. This one, yeah.
This one.
I recognize that. That's the Gateway to Forever off of Star Trek.
Oh, holy mo!
Do you know how much I paid for these? Well, you wouldn't know, would you? Because obviously you weren't there. But
They are worth about between 12 and 13 euros. So I hope you didn't pay more than maybe
I got them both.
10 pounds.
I got them both for £8 from a coin
Yeah,
store.
I just said I hope you didn't pay more than £9. Yeah, so got it for a good price.
And they are really, really, really almost uncirculated type. I mean, they are really.
I made a video where I showed all of the 20-something different 50 shilling coins and all of the 25 shilling coins that were ever minted. I made videos on this.
I'm gonna have to refresh my memory
because I have all different commemorative coins, all 25 shilling and all 50 shilling coins ever minted, and I made videos on this 2 coin series where I showed all of them.
I am. Do you know, with you, what Skip has done to me with Canadian coins? I am now got. Every time I see, like, because Austrian silver here, right, in coins has gone down. So they would have been about what, £11 a piece. So that's why I took the opportunity to buy them, because it's first come, first served. Because I know I called a coin store. So what's the other one I had? It was It was the half shilling. I can't remember what the year was because I can't see the year. So that was literally 50p.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure what year that was, but obviously I got Canadian coins and I got Austrian. Obviously, what I do with my world coins, anything with A, obviously everything goes in there. B, but I'm gonna have to get a book literally just for Austrian coins because I'm obsessed with getting Canadian and Austrian coins and everything else that I can find, but mainly Austrian. I bought those banknotes about 2 weeks ago. They take a couple of weeks to get all the orders together, and obviously they whack it together. But I say, if you've got anything Austrian, anything Canadian, and then just throw anything else in between. Maintenance, obviously American as well, but yeah, it's literally become its own entity like Canadian coins now. So thank you for that. That's another set I've got. That's another collection I've gone into blindly.
I wouldn't say that blind.
Well, no, I mean, I saw these. I thought, wow, man, these are really, really nice looking. And I thought, no, that can't be right. They can't be like what, £5.50 each, something like that. Come here, Lola. Good night, sweetheart. Right.
No, Lord.
She went bungee jumping off the bed last night. But yeah, had to capture. See, what would Arnie do?
Good question.
Don't forget to bring food, please.
No, I won't. I promise.
It's so crazy lately in Austria. A lot of young people started collecting. I don't know what was the reason for this, but a lot of young people started collecting these old shilling coins, and a lot of shops are really ripping them off. So they're selling them coins which are worth like, I don't know, 9-10 euros, 12 euros maybe. They're selling these coins for 30-40 euros, and they're stupid enough to buy it. And I had a girl in leaving a comment on my channel asking me, I need money, so I'm trying to sell my silver coin collection. Are you interested? And I said, look, send me an email, tell me what coins you have and what's your expectation, and let's see whether I can help you. And then these were all coins. These were all coins with a value of maybe, I don't know, 8-9 euros, and she wanted to have 30-40 euros for each and every coin. And then I told her, look, your coin collection is not worth what you think. None of the coins is worth more than 10 euros. Yeah, and then now she's on every single channel. She's posting that I try to rip her off and whatever, and crazy story.
That is so wrong. This is what I was saying to Dimebag the other week. This is why we have these governing bodies to protect people who don't know. Because if you'd have bought something for X amount of money, and it's obviously, I know coin companies, bricks and mortar companies need to make money, but it's supposed to be an investment or a collection, whatever you want to do later on. So when I get these, you can see the difference with something that is run with a governing body through a bricks and mortar shop or a non-bricks and mortar shop. When I'm buying Austrian coins for probably a little bit less than what you actually said, and I got two. And obviously I got this one for 50p a couple of weeks ago, which like the banknotes, those two banknotes, one was £1.50, the other one was £1. As you said, if that young girl would have gone and bought those banknotes, to collect as well. I mean, they'd probably cost €5 or €6, which is still a rip-off. I understand companies need to make money, but there's making money and then ripping people off, and that's why we have this protectorate. This we can actually question the price and say, is that correct? And it is down to a person. You have to have some kind of research first. I wish she'd have asked you first before she went and bought these things, because knowledge is power at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean now the thing is, yeah, that she's posting comments everywhere that I tried to rip her off, and I tried to buy coins she bought for €40 for €8 or €9, and which is true, yeah, because I told her, look, your coins are not worth more than €8 or €9, maybe 10, yeah. But sorry, you paid far too much, and now she's posting everywhere that I tried to rip her off, and I mean, it's ridiculous, yeah. So, but yeah, it's.
I had that with a guy from PC Coinstar. He was putting my name to his videos, and he was putting in telephone numbers for these coins he was showing were had terrible lives. They must have been in on some kind of pirate ship or whatever, and been whipped and gone through vending machines like you wouldn't believe. And he was saying they were like $20,000, £20,000, €50,000, whatever he can think of come out of his brain, he was putting in. And of course, like you, like Skipper, like a lot of people here, we're the bearers of bad news. We're the bad guys at the end of the day because we're actually telling the truth.
Yeah.
And these people don't like it. They want to hear that your coin is worth X amount of money because it's old or it's silver. Doesn't mean it's because something old doesn't mean it's valuable. Or something
exactly.
Doesn't mean it's valuable.
I had a discussion with a stacker from the US one time, and a lot of people in the US, they have never seen really old coins, because for them old coins are like 80 years old or 100 years old. Yeah, this is not old for a coin here. I mean, I have coins from 1700 there, and they actually were 1800. They're worth nothing because millions of them have been minted, and so many are around here.
Yeah,
and I showed some 1 crown coins, Austrian 1 crown coins from the Danube monarchy, and they are actually just worth spot plus 5%, not more. Yeah, because I think 32 millions of them have been minted, and you can buy them in kilos. Yeah, you can go to a shop in Vienna and buy them 1 kilo, 2 kilo, 3 kilos, how much you want to have. Yeah, and it's spot plus 5% or something. Yeah, and then I saw a shop on TV selling them, and 1 coin is about I think it's 12 grams or something, and I saw a shop on TV selling them for €18 a coin.
It's
ridiculous.
crazy. I mean, I got my Roman coins, right? I love researching these, and I think this one, Claudius the First, obviously was uncle to Emperor Gallius, which is obviously Caligula when he was executed. That coin is what, 340 AD onwards. So it's going to be, people think, wow, that's going to be an expensive coin. But over here, we can pick him up off the ground. You know what I'm saying? They're 10 to the penny to us. So that coin there, yeah, it was only like £1 from a coin store. I get, like in other countries, they may be worth more because obviously they're going to be a bit more rare. But there's still not going to be much more than a couple of dollars at least on a good coin. And if you're looking at Julius Caesar, then you're looking at a more of an expensive coin, or Pontius Pilate. You're looking at the golder ones, gold coins. Then you look at it more of an expensive. I get that, but later emperors, obviously you had the 5 emperors, Augustus and all them. they're very cheap because they mint them all over the place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're minting them all. So they're not very expensive coins, but I like collecting Roman coins or Celtic or Sanskrit coins because it gives me a bit of a challenge. You know.
Well,
and
you like looking up the information, don't you?
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
do love the information. I love.
You love to do research.
Yeah,
I love
that's
research.
where I'm lacking. I'll buy a coin if it has the attribution already done.
But I try and help people. I mean, I give like pointers. I mean, the best way that I can do right now, I mean, before the internet, it was a bitch to do it, but it was a case of asking and calling and researching, buying magazines and stuff like that. And once you gain a lot of experience, all the other coins are quite easy to find.
Oh yeah.
I've even actually called up the Paris Mint because I didn't know what one of the, I think it was the torch. I didn't know what the torch was. Lucky I spoke to them, got me an English, speaking person, obviously, because she works at the Paris Mint. And that's the limits I go to search because I don't trust Numista. Numista is like Wikipedia. And I've even asked you about flags, Austrian Stacker. I've asked Skipper. I've asked everybody,
Hey, man.
Because I like the information to be, 99% correct at least. And I have made mistakes. I know I've made mistakes. But I try to do Latin. I'm not very good at it, as you know. But I find it a bit of comedy in my videos, and people want to laugh at me. It's fine. I just enjoy doing videos. I enjoy it because I have a laugh doing them, and it's not about being number one or if it's just about having fun with your channel. That's all I do. That's why I do it.
Yeah, exactly. But Dale, what I appreciate is you're one of the people who's saying I don't know if there is something you don't know, so you don't make up stories, and we have fortunately it's not a lot of, but we have some of these so-called self-proclaimed coin experts in the community. Mm-hmm. They always know everything about every single coin somebody's showing, and a lot of times it's just BS.
We've heard a few of them, haven't we, Dale?
I am no expert by any means. I've been collecting a long time, but I would never call myself. There is experts out there, admittedly.
I appreciate people who are able to say, I don't know. I really appreciate if somebody's doing this.
Yeah, if I don't know, I'll say, if it's about a Canadian coin, I'll say, look, I can give you the basics, but if you really want to know the ins and outs of this coin, go to Skipper, go to Dimebag Darren, go to George, go to somebody who is from that country. So I think it's an Austrian coin. I had no idea about the Austrian coin. I said, I know somebody who may know. If they're not there, definitely put you somebody who will know, and I sent them to you. Because I think that's the community in a nutshell.
Yeah, exactly. To go to other people and say, look, I couldn't find any information. Can you help me?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. If they wanted to know a mintage, I can quickly search on a mintage. But whether it is right or not, I'd rather say that just go straight to someone in their own country who will help you out. Who, I don't like giving out false information. And as you said earlier, with the prices, that's why I never put values in my videos, because at the end of the day, once you put a value there, I'm doing it for my own specific coin.
Yeah.
Somebody may have a better coin than me, but they probably will have a better coin than me, and they think that is the price of that coin because that's my value. And they could be undertoning their value of that coin. That's why I don't do it. So I can say, I bought these coins for say £5, £6, whatever, say €7, but your coin could be worth €20. So that's why I've thrown caution to the wind and I said to Zoe, when I set my new channel, I'm not going to put values to my coins, because at the end of the day, it's going to put in a false information to other people who has better value coins than I do.
Yeah, and it's always depending on where you are. I mean, I had a discussion once with a guy from the US, and he was talking about the Maria Theresa thaler as historic coin. Yeah, it is a historic coin, but it doesn't have any numismatic value. Even if you have original Maria Theresa thalers, so which means no restrikes, because millions of them have been minted. It's probably one of the most minted coin on this planet, and it was used as a trade coin in North Africa and the Middle East until the 70s. Yeah, so millions of them are around. If you go to a souk in the Emirates, for example, you can buy kilos of Maria Theresa thalers if you want, just for the silver price. And he was talking about the coin and the numismatic value and so on. And I said, sorry, I mean, maybe where you are living, yeah, but where I'm living, this coin has no numismatic value at all. Yeah,
No.
I bought them a long time because this was the cheapest silver you could get here, even it was 200 years old.
Yeah, and I mean, with the Maria Theresa Italia coins, I mean, historically they're amazing. If people read into actually what they are, they're amazing.
They don't have a numismatic value.
No, they don't.
Because there are millions and millions around here.
Yeah, and they set, as I said earlier, they set the die to all the other silver rounds, the high value rounds, the $1. They set the tone to it. They're like the blueprint. And I mean, I've got two. I got one that you sent me, and I've got one that I had as a gift a while ago. And they're right there. They're right behind me in my silver ball. But they are absolutely beautiful. But if you read the actual history about it, it is amazing. But it's again, I mean, I'm not a stacker, as you know. I don't stack silver like you do, or like Skipper does, or like a lot of people here. If I see something I like, I will try and save up for it, or I'll buy it, you know, if I can, or I will just say, right, okay, like these ones here, you know, they're not high value, but to me here, it's precious to me, you know. And same with Canadian dollars or whatever. But yeah, I would never ever try and tell somebody different when they know better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not a chance. But yeah, it's this is what I like about our laws with history and buying stuff, because you know we got a lot of protection. And it's a shame that, I mean, I feel pretty bad for that girl, but you should get the flank, or anybody being honest with somebody and saying that, you know, your coins are not worth this because, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Well, why are you coming to me if you didn't know that in the first place? But yeah, I often stack. I got a Maria Theresa for £3.50 back in the 90s. I think they're beautiful coins. Even the restrikes are really, really nice. But you come a cropper on a couple of them, though, haven't you? When he, it was a very, very good, because he had some fakes, and he was doing a slide test, and they were pretty good. They were pretty good fakes.
Yeah, were very, very good fakes. And the thing is, it's very hard sometimes to say whether a Maria Theresa thaler is a fake or not, because you can never tell it from the weight, because some of them are so old that they're heavily worn, and of course then they do not have the precise weight anymore. Usually they are lighter because they are heavily worn, so they are a bit lighter than the restrikes or the newer ones. And also there are some differences in some design elements. For example, if you got them, if they were minted, they were even minted in Mumbai in India. So of course they look a bit different, like the ones minted in Austria or Hungary, or even in England. A lot of people don't know that also in England Maria Theresa thalers were minted.
I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that we actually minted them here. They must have been done at the Tower Hill, where they weren't done in Lancaster.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Wow.
And still until today, the Maria Theresa Thaler is protected. There is the Anti-Counterfeit Act or something it's called in the UK, which is valid until today. And the Maria Theresa Thaler is one of the coins that's still protected in the UK. So it's still forbidden in the UK to restrike Maria Theresa Thalers.
See, I didn't know. See, I didn't know that. Now I know. Absolutely awesome. Were they minted in Canada and US by any chance?
No.
So that must have been at Tower Hill. So it's got to be way before '68 then. Crikey. Look at that. What is the precious to one collector made? Exactly. That is the point. I like artwork on a coin. And I like unique stuff. You know, when I search the internet or the coin stores, I get my book out. I get the latest edition. I look around, see if there's anything going first, and I look for something old, something unique, something a little bit silver maybe, and a banknote or whatever comes first. And I get a massive short list of what I see and I phone them up and say, have you got this? Have you got that? Do you still have this? I spend a good 2 or 3 days searching. And I think that's when you want to buy something, unless you're specifically after a coin set, like a typeset or a date run or whatever, or a certain denomination of a coin, that's a bit more difficult. That you're talking, like in some cases in Canada, you're looking at hundreds and thousands of pounds for some of the older coins, the key date coins. Now, I'm not after anything specific. I just after what I can afford, and that's another key element. Never buy above your means. If you can't afford it, save up for it and get a better one. That if you can. And I had a short list of about 40 coins, and but then I come across these two here, and I completely emptied my box and buying these. So you can imagine, for X amount of money, I had that, and I ended up buying a lot less over 2 coin stores. And now you make a rapport with the coin stores and say, look, what have you got? What you've had? This is what I sort of say to them. I say, hi, this is Dale here. What have you had in your back room you've had for ages that you're trying to get rid of? Can you give me a price and what do you have? And they're first off, they say, oh, we got all these and they're worth 100, 200 pounds. What you're looking? I'm saying something like 10 quid, And they said, all right, okay, we got quite a few things. Got some Roman stuff we want to get rid of. Got some. I got 3 1908s Edward VII coins, but they're still silver to me, so that's what I ended up getting. So, and they were only £1 each. So
we're quickly approaching the 3-hour mark here, so I'm going to leave. I'm going to say one last thing based on the conversation that you guys have been having. I heard a story a while back about a grandfather. He was quite ill. He was ready to. He was on his deathbed, and his grandson come in, and the grandfather handed him a coin, and said, "Look, this is for you. In remembrance of me. I would suggest that you take it down to the local coin shop and see how much it's worth." So he did just that. He went to the coin shop, and when he went in there, he estimated that the coin was worth about $11. When he got back to the hospital, he talked to his granddad. He says, "Okay, that's fine. When you say $11 is all right. Go to a pawn shop and see what they'll offer to you there." So he went down to a local pawn shop, and the pawn shop owner offered him $5 for the coin. He returned to his granddad, and his granddad says, "Fine. Now I want you to go down to your local museum and see what they think the value of this coin is." They went down and they said, well, it's worth about $50,000. Okay. My point here is that it's all in what another person sees as the value in an item, and we see that all the time in the coin community. People coming up with a coin that they're saying is worth $10,000. We all know it's a common coin that you get for $5 or whatever. But on the other hand, if you got reputable people that have got coins that are rare in a good grade, perhaps properly certified, the whole 9 yards, they could be worth quite a bit of money. But it all depends on what you're willing to pay for it. That's what it's all about in this community. And the biggest flaw that people have is that they ask guys like us, "Oh, what do you think it's worth?" That's what these books are for, to get a little idea. It's not perfect, but to give you an idea what they're worth. Look it up. We have resources online. We get resources in the community. But you know what? I still fall back to the books. US with the gray sheets, I understand they're a little better than the red book. Fall back on them. We have Charlton, and we've got various publications in Canada here. Great Britain's got some good publications as well. Look up the information and don't rely on someone else to try to feed you what they think it is.
Yeah, I mean,
I agree.
That is spot on. That's nail on the head. I mean, another thing is photos. You can take you can take one coin and you can end up with 50 different shades of that coin to make it look better. No camera does a coin justice than looking at it.
Especially when we watch you hold a coin.
Yeah. I'm not, Patty had that perfect. I've never seen that on StreamYards ever. With anyone, I'm not being horrible, I'm being honest, that was perfect how she had that light
was the clearest I've ever seen.
The clarity
But
on that was amazing.
I think what's the most important point is what Dale mentioned before, in combination with what you said, Numismaniac. It's do not overspend. So whatever the value of a coin may be, people should not overspend. And this is one of the major things in our community. We have some of these big channels. They always show the smallest coins they're showing are 1 ounce, and the smallest bars they're showing are like, I don't know, 50 grams or whatever. And I've had a lot of discussions over the last 2 years, especially with young stackers who just got into stacking, and I told them, forget about them. Do not overspend. You should know your financial situation, and if it allows for buying a 1 ounce coin, it's fine, but do not overspend. And this is one of the problems, with this. Oh, now is the chance to get the 2023 Britannia with the Queen on it. Buy as much as you can. What's the sense of it? I saw young people spending thousands of euros and now having trouble selling it again. And I told him, I said, what's the sense of it? This coin has a mintage of millions. This coin will have a numismatic value maybe in 200 years.
Yeah, exactly. And they are one of the most common struck coins in the modern age, is the Britannias. I mean, you can go back to 2007 and still get millions of them. So
exactly.
They're nice coins, but later on, the mint got lazy with them. There are a lot of milk spots. They had, the quality. I mean, it doesn't defect the silver quality by any means, but it's the aesthetics.
A young stacker from I think he's from Slovenia reached out to me, and he told me that actually my stacking strategy is not really smart because I'm losing a lot of money because I buy a lot of fractional gold. I said, yes, but this is my budget, So I cannot always buy 1 ounce coins, and so this is my budget. No, that's stupid. He just buys 1 ounce coins, and then I replied to him and said, look, how old are you? How much money are you making? Then he told me, and then I said, guy, I have no idea how you are able to buy 1 ounce coins, but if you want to accumulate gold, then you should think about his strategy. Yeah, should rethink it. And this is the problem with. And then he referred to some of the big channels, yeah, in the community. So from my
Big
point of view, we should really be careful with what we are telling in videos, because a lot of inexperienced and young people, they take this as advice, yeah, and most of us are not financial advisors, and yeah,
No.
we love this hobby, but I'm really, the only thing I always do is I'm warning the people. I say, do not overspend, stack on a budget, do not buy what I call pseudo-numismatics.
I would strongly suggest, this is probably my personal piece of advice: collecting and stacking is not a race.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's not a race at all.
It's not a
Yeah,
race
right.
of the biggest and baddest collection. It's what you have fun with while you're doing it. And that's the way I treat my I've always tried treating my collection as fun. You know, if I can't afford it, I don't need it. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
But she goes, oh yeah, Patty says, Patty focuses, I'm a photographer. Draw me like one of your French girls, Patty.
Wonderful.
But yeah, I mean, I've seen the way you do your videos, the way you stack, as you said, you know, you're just putting your own strategy to work with everybody. And as you said, you're not a financial advisor, but you have good points at the same time that people should work to. Unless you can afford it, then you can have the best and the most expensive collection in the world if you wish. But when you go and try and sell that, you're going to come a cropper, and it's as simple as that.
Yeah, there's one example. I once had a discussion with a young stacker from Austria, and he saw the Queen's Beast completer coin on my channel, and he asked me, should I buy it? I said, how old are you? What's your budget? Do you think you might need the money within the next year or so? And he said, no, it's fine. I've saved the money. So and I strongly advise him, as a first coin, go and buy a Philharmonic. Yeah, and. Yeah, but he decided to buy the completer coin, and then within, I think, 2 months, he had to emergency sell it because he needed the money, because his car broke down and so on, and he sold it with a loss of 200 euros.
Oh my word!
And this is exactly what I mean. Yeah, this is. So I always, if somebody's asking me for advice, I always tell them, start with the cheapest bullion you can get. Yeah.
Yeah, just get
the knowledge, get the experience, get into it, and then maybe make some decisions. And I mean, I also told this guy, I said, look, I mean, one time I closed the bank account and decided, because of inflation and so on, to buy gold instead. So I bought a tube of 1 ounce Britannias at once. Yeah. So I also did this one time, yeah, but most of the time this is not my budget. My budget is fractional gold. So this is what I always tell the people. So it's depending on your budget. If you can afford to buy, I don't know, a monster box of 1 ounce Britannias, go for it. Buy it if you have the money, yeah. But if you think you might have to sell it within a short period or something, then maybe it's not the best thing to do, yeah.
I mean, with me and my collection, okay, I buy these coins without any knowledge, okay, of what any of these coins are, okay, and when I do the research, I just find the fascinating stuff about these coins that pop up now and then. You think, whoa, you know, there's only like 500,000 he's ever made throughout the world. I've got one, you know, or whatever it is, and that's my buzz to my collection. That's it, you know. I mean, I've seen some coins out there that's made by the Royal Canadian Mint that you wouldn't even think they'd be made by the Royal Canadian Mint, or some by the Royal Mint. And I think, hang on a minute, they've got their own mint. They've had their own mint forever. While the Royal Mint, but you know, they do like contracts now and then to help up the steady of the coins. But that's including banknotes as well. It's like these banknotes weren't printed in, say, I don't know, Germany, and they're printed in somewhere else, you know. Hungary or something, That's interesting. And that's my point, and that's what I try to put across in my videos. That if you read, not really bothered about the video, but if you read the description, you'll be actually surprised where half these coins are actually minted and made. They're not actually made in their own country. It's actually really, and the mintage figures are so low, it's nuts.
Mhm.
Or they can be really high. You think, wow, you know what I mean? That means especially like the poorer countries, and they've got something like 70 billion out there, and I think, wow, that's worth doing a video. That means every person in that country can have 50 of them each. You know what I mean? But it's I just like the history. I just like this research, and I enjoy that's my buzz, is research, and you never know what's going to pop out at you.
Mhm.
I like Dale that you are showing more international coins now, because in the past you mainly showed British coins.
British coins, yeah. I went
And
through
I
did that deliberately.
Yeah,
just to get
I know. I
the-
mean, you are CoinWorld UK, but I really like that you also show a lot of international coins now, because a lot of coins I saw the first time on your channel. I've never seen them before, so I wrote this in the
Okay.
comment today. So I really enjoy watching these videos, because you always show coins I've never seen before. I really like it.
I've seen coins. I've gone, I'm going to do a video on that coin. I think, oh God, why have I done this coin for? I can't even say it. I'm going to pronounce this. I think, oh no, this takes me about 70 takes just to get to say one word. I think, should I do a blooper video? The videos would be about 50 hours long if I did one video. It looks really easy, when I'm doing it, but it's not. Honestly, I've actually got angry at myself. Think, why can't I say this word? It's like, babe, how do I say this word? And she'll say it like this, and I'm like, huh? Say again. But yeah, it's but I find Roman coins, because I got a strategy of doing it. I've sort of done it a long time. I've got a grid how to do it, and that sort of helps me. So when I'm researching, because I get about 15, 16 websites, my coin books, whatever. I even used results, as I said, to phone it up the countries and whatever. And I've gone, I'm looking for this coin. Who designed it? Don't know. I've asked around if anybody can help me fill out this information. That'd be fantastic. And there was one coin I was going to tell you about, and I can't remember the name of the country now. But it was Kolbens. It was when on the Rhine. It was a year after occupation in 1918, and it was a Prussian era coin. And I asked
Koblenz.
Koblenz, yeah. And I asked about the flags, and I went onto YouTube in the end to actually ask the people out, and they said, this is what they said to me. They said, Koblenz, this is the flag. So I used the up-to-date flag. I think that was from 1943. But the one they had in 1918 that they prefer to use is the black and white one with the eagle. And that's why I made a clarification with the flags. And I asked that from the people in that area. That is why. That's why I just have music on my coin. Yeah, I if you notice, I do 1 week of just visual without me talking, because I don't think people want to hear my voice all the time. And I do another week of me talking about that coin, because I do have a few blind people on YouTube, as obviously they used to, like, coins are like braille to them. So and obviously they want to hear what is about the coin. That's why I do that the best I can anyway. I probably confuse them more than help them, but I try,
Yes, I know.
What I really like is I'm also trying to do this whenever there is a Latin inscription on a coin or something, that I'm translating it, because a lot of people never had Latin at school, or they do not even know a single word, and they appreciate if you translate things written on a coin for them. And I really like that you're also doing this. This is actually why I started watching your videos, even before we got friends, I was watching your videos because of you were translating what was written on the coins in Latin, and I really like this.
Dale is pretty quick pro quo, you know.
I mean, obviously, if I was to learn a language now, I at school I can do French easily, and I did a bit of German, but obviously I never used that since school, so I sort of lost it all. And I was pretty good at French.
Tiny little bit.
And I mean, I don't remember sentences anymore. And when I was at work and we had a lot of Romanian people and they couldn't speak, so it was easiest for us to learn Romanian. So we ended up speaking Romanian. And my friend actually went out there for 2 years. I was supposed to be out there for 2 years and work with him, but I left for a better job anyway. So we spent like 3 years with these lads speaking Romanian all the time. And the bosses didn't like it because they were calling them all sorts of stuff in Romanian. We knew what it meant, and they didn't know what it meant. You see, so we had this advantage, and it was funny. It was absolutely really funny. But again, I used it for so many years; it just got gone, you know. But I'm up for learning anything. You know what I mean? I just find it fascinating. But you know, I try and all you got to do when you do this is just try your best, and if it messes up, just laugh about it, because you know there's no point. It's a learning curve for everybody.
And don't try to speak French in France because they really don't like you.
Oh, I don't like the English anyway. So.
Oh my goodness, I got rained so bad. Anyway, guys, I am shutting her down now.
No,
Thank everybody to go. We're well past the 3-hour mark. But,
we got another 3 hours to go yet.
You know, I have to take care of my beloved because she can't cook worth a damn, and so I got to make her something to eat.
Okie dokie.
You know,
I go to bed now.
Yeah, he's an hour ahead of me, so it must be 1:15 in the morning there.
It's 1:15.
Well, bonne nuit, monsieur.
Wow.
Merci beaucoup.
Wow.
Au revoir, bientôt. And with that, I am going to end the stream.
Yay. All right. Good night, everybody.
Night,
see you soon. Bye.
And it's great fun catching up with the Austrian Stacker. And of course, everybody in the chat today. Thank you so much. It was awesome. Bye, everybody.